Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening to episode 26 of the DMC live chat. And strange face on board. We'll come to that in a moment. But PJ here from Midlife Models, joined as usual by my cohorts. Luke from, what is it this week? Scale Customs this week. We're Scale Customs this week. We've got Laz from Laszlo Collectibles and the Governor. Mr. Martin there. Good evening, Luke.
Evening, boys. Evening, people.
Good evening, Laz.
Evening.
Good evening, Martin.
Evening.
We're also joined as a special event, Mos from Mos6510 Models. Good friend of ours over the last several years. We've been trying to do this live event for a few months now, but Mos has been tied up on other projects. But fortunately, we've got him on board with us tonight. So what we're going to do is go around the houses, see what everybody's been up to, do a bit of admin, and then we're going to grill Mos about plastic kits, which is his speciality as a part of our community. If we want any advice about plastic kits, what's coming out, builds, processes, procedures, you name it, easy guy. Please go and subscribe if you haven't to Mos6510 Models, and boost his 24,000 subscribers list by about 5. So, without further ado, we've got a lot to get through on this one. I think it's going to take us up to our 2-hour mark. Luke, my friend, what have you been up to this week, buddy?
Good evening, everyone. Well, apparently nothing this week, but Martin Dares might fill you in a bit more on that in a bit. But on the bench for next week, I'm doing the Batmobile. I've got that in undercoat today. It needed quite a lot of prep work, that did. So I have managed to get through quite a lot of the chrome work today. That's all done. Oh, where are we? There we go. That's all chromed up. Now, Andy Bourne gifted me the model from Andy's Garage Diecast Restorations. Now, it did come with Batman. That's original figure. He was a little bit worn, so touched him up with a paintbrush. I mean, not literally touched him up.
Steady now.
So I bought new Robin. So he's going in there. I've had to buy quite a lot of parts for it. Mostly, this gold on these wheels, mate, is the gold from Outlaw Paints.
Oh, fantastic.
And I put the red in them. They've just got to clear coat these. Obviously, you want to spray the car. Probably get it into paint tomorrow with a bit of luck. And that's about me. That's all I've been up to.
Going back a few episodes, we talked about models versus cost of replacement parts. Would you mind telling us how much you spent on replacement parts for it?
Yeah, about 24 quid on this one, which isn't bad, really.
It's not. It's about the going rate, and the going rate for a restorable Batmobile is anything between 25 and 30 quid. So,
well, this one, once it's done, I think I have told you this is going to have the red stripe round it. I'm going to give this back to Andy once it's done. Just as a bit of a thank you. So that's what I'm going to do for him. He's been a good support over the last 12 months I've known him. He's gifted me a lot of cars and decals and that. So once it's done, I'll give it him back.
He's been a great support to all of us, like the likes of Ian and Brian, and we've got quite a generous crew of members in our community. Irregular regulars have joined us as well. So, good evening to Ian. Good evening to Nick. Good evening to John. I think that's Brian there on the end, in search of the lost diecast. Brian's joined.
Brian.
So good evening, guys. Welcome along. Join us always. Moving swiftly on to my good dear friend Laszlo Collectibles. Laz, what you been up to, my friend?
Evening. I've just cleared a couple of cars today. Small matchboxes, ERF truck, a Ford Zodiac Mach 4, and the Thames Kettle truck getting on well. Released the video yesterday, the Dinky Toys. And I would like to grab the opportunity to thank Andy, because I've got the package from Martin. So I've got the decals from Andy, and Andy's got diecast restorations, and Brian for the boxes. I mean, for the designs of the boxes. And I will be able to print them out, and I'll have my matchboxes in boxes. So thank you very much. Brian from In Search of Lost Diecast. So just a little advertisement for them.
Excellent. And by all means, these guys have got channels. Please go and search out Brian's and Andy's channels. I know that Brian's is In Search of Lost Diecast, and I think Andy's is Andy's Garage.
Diecast restoration.
Yeah,
Andy's Garage. Yeah.
So please go
Andy's Diecast Garage.
The governor, Mr. Martin Durr, sir. Good evening, Martin. What have you been up to, my friend?
Evening, chaps. What have we been doing? Let's have a look. Oh, I felt a lot of work on this Ursel 18 van. A lot of work.
Nice paint job, Martin.
Oh, it's the best.
No respect to Luke, who's done that for me. I sent him up last time we met a while ago. I had an Ursel. I think it's got to be 1/18 scale, I would say. It's cheap. And I got it cheap off the internet. It was a bit battered. And I asked Luke basically to give it a bit of a sandblasting because I haven't got the facilities for that. So he kindly said to me, "Do you want me to paint it?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" You know. So he painted it for me. It's come out really, really, really nicely. And a nice surprise was he'd actually done the proper set of wheels for me. 3D printed the proper they're cyclone wheels, are they? Yeah, and they're really nice. Now I was going to do a video for next month for the TV challenge, but because I got it back and I wanted to see what the wheels look like on it, so I took the old wheels off and put these on it, and I thought, you know, that looks nice. I wonder what the body looks like on it. So I started jigging about and putting the body on. I thought, hey, you know, that looks pretty cool. I ended up putting the glass in and the interior in, but it's a good job I didn't film it because it took me forever, because the way they build these very similar tonkers, and it's been pressed steel and riveted, and the interior was built up first, and then the metal was put around it, wrapped around it, and so I just struggled to get it in, but it took me a while, but I got it in. So I'm now just doing the bumpers front and back. I'm going to paint the lights and on the roof. And I'm going to paint the spoiler, which Luke kindly sent me some paint for that. And yeah, so I will show it. Probably I might even do the last. Now the hard part's done, getting inside. I might show putting the last bits together. So yeah, I've been doing that, and a Dinky Leyland Octopus drop side truck. I'm doing that one. That'll be for the beginning of March. And I'm working on JCB truck, JCB digger, shovel digger. And after that, I'm not sure. We'll see. So I think, yeah, March, what, 4 weeks? So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've pretty much got March covered anyway. So we're doing that.
All others hands full. Just popping into the chat. And good evening to Darren Hall. Darren is saying, "Hey, Moz." So I guess somebody you know, Moz?
Probably, yes.
Yeah,
I have shared this out to folks. So
yeah, thank you for joining us. By all means, if you like what you see, please subscribe and join our gang of irregular regulars that we have in the chat. And thanks for that, Mark. Myself, we're working. For those that don't know, we do a monthly challenge. It could be any corgi, any dinky, any sports vehicle, you name it. I think we even pulled Moz into doing one particular month, going back a while. That's what kind of dragged him into doing the odd diecast model with us, and dragging us into doing the odd plastic kit build. So
quick builds.
Yeah, quick. We love the quick builds. Well, he knows that I like the quick builds. He keeps recommending them, and I keep buying them. It bloody cost me a fortune, but that's besides the point. So I'm working on I've still got to get that. So I'm working on a Royal sedan It was a police vehicle. Ran out of time doing loads of admin stuff and other stuff, but I will get it
now.
on.
No excuse.
Yeah, there's nothing like redecorating your house, is there? And so yeah, I'm working on that. That will go up on the Midlife Models channel in the next week or so. So that all being said, a bit of admin work. In the last episode or the episode before, we started to talk about putting up some videos of how we do procedures and processes. I've put one up on the clean up, restoring windscreens. So if you want to have a look at how to restore, it's not the be all and end all of how to restore a windscreen, by the way. It's just the method I use. So what we're asking is that the guys jump in with videos of their own, and we'll build up a library of how to do stuff just for reference. You don't have to follow them, and we're not responsible, by the way, if anything goes pear-shaped or south. Look at them for reference, give you an idea of how we do stuff. If you haven't watched everybody's channels, so I'm hoping that Martin, Luke, Laz, and possibly Moz will chuck in some videos. They're only going to be 5 minutes long of how we do a particular procedure or process. That would be great.
I could probably do one on making a fish finger sandwich or something for you.
Is that right, mate? Yeah.
I was going to say I could do one on toast.
Do you want toast at 10? Toast at 10. Fish fingers at 5.
I'll do the coffee then. I'll do the coffee.
Right. So, with that all being said, we have a group of benefactors that, and all the guys that are on screen now, including myself, we support our community by donating between £2 to £5 through PayPal in our running costs, which goes to Moz knows about this as well. That this particular platform that we're using now is licensed, so we have to pay for it. We also pay for teams, so that on a Friday night we have a live tavern that you can come and join, which is nowhere near as structured as this is, by the way. This is calm, but the tavern, no, that's like Fight Club, more of that kind of atmosphere. But it's great fun. We've got people from around the world join us, from Australia to Laz, who's in Romania, Hungary.
Both,
whenever he's traveling, depends when he's seeing his mum. And we've got the guys in the States who come and join us on a Friday night. So it's always 9 o'clock UK time. Come and find us on Facebook. It's the Diecaster Models community on Facebook. Answer the 3 questions, get admitted, come and join us on a Friday night, and bring a glass and a sense of humour. That's what the tavern's all about. So thank you to Ian, Luke, Martin, Tony, Fraser, Moz, John, Brian, Lee. Laz isn't on there because he's been a naughty boy, but I thank him anyway because we'll do it at the end of the month. For supporting us. It helps greatly with the running costs.
Could I just ask that you change that from me to Outlaw Paints, because it was
you're so picky, love. You're so
all right. The idea was to advertise the business on it, not my channel. Like, you know, it's do you know what? Not being funny.
We'll talk about the Outlaw Paints. We'll talk about the Outlaw.
Yeah.
We'll come to that. Don't worry, mate.
Right. Yeah.
Brian is saying, in search of the lost diecast. Sorry, Brian from In Search of the Lost Diecast is saying, I can't find the pledge polish. That is that bloody pledge polish. They've stopped doing Revive It. We used to get it off eBay and Amazon for a certain period of time, running about 14 quid a pop.
And home base as well.
It's now a dark wood polish and it's been completely rebranded into something completely different. But I noticed that I was watching somebody's video today. Was it you, Martin? No, it wasn't Martin. It was somebody who was using multi-surface pledge. Whose stream was I watching?
Yeah, it's all virtually the same thing, isn't it?
It's all the same stuff, really.
It's never been the same as the first lot, though. It's never ever been the same as the very first pledge.
No,
it wasn't called pledge then, was it? It was called something else.
Clear. It was called Clear,
Clear.
with a K, wasn't it?
Never been the same.
No.
There was a
Um,
I've still
version
got a
called
couple of
Future
those.
as well.
Yeah. It's I think there was something in it that was bad for your health or something, and so they had to remove it. But you know, you look at, you know, when Clear was clear, it stayed clear, and then when you saw the new bottle turn up and you just leave it a while, it goes yellow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's there's
Yeah.
definitely something, you know, it's never been the same as that original, well, 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, when we were using it back in the day, wasn't it? You know,
It
so
seems to me that the chemical that made it what it is what they've taken out.
Yeah.
It's no longer what you want it for.
Well,
It's-
that runs true with a lot of things, like the original nitromoles. That used to be really good
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
and now it's just
Yeah.
rubbish. You know, I think it's all this I don't know, health and safety stuff, isn't it?
Mm.
it's
You
gone
know.
mad, mate. It's gone mad.
Well, yeah, I do understand, you know, we've got to protect our planet, you know, but I still never understood why they had to change the name from Marathon to Snickers, and they didn't even change just the name. Because when I
Yeah.
used to eat marathons, they were whole peanuts in a marathon bar. Now it's crunched
Yeah,
up powdered peanut. So,
yeah.
I
know what I
remember
mean?
this. Well,
Yeah,
they
you don't want
remember it.
to eat Snickers because the laces get stuck between your teeth, don't they? Yeah,
Well, that's, to be honest, you know, we back in the day when you had a Snickers
Yeah.
bar, you bit into, or a marathon, it was called. Now,
marathon.
it used to be whole peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's a crumb. It's a
Yeah.
peanut, probably mixed with soya or something, you know, just to make it go further. But
Good,
yeah,
slightly off topic, but just while you're saying that, I used to love the Texan bar, but it used to break your teeth when you tried to chew through it. It was nugget, but it was rock hard nugget like.
they try to
Wow.
make these changes like McDonald's milkshakes. I remember and used to really have to suck through a shake through that plastic straw. And then they made it cardboard, and then they had to make the thick shake not so thick, so it goes for that cardboard straw.
Yeah.
And the irony of it all is you're there sucking through that paper straw, looking through the window of a guy vaping, and you're saying, how am I saving the planet? You know, when there's vapes there full of chemicals and batteries and everything, and I'm having to suck through a paper straw. And to really knock me down even further is that the lid on the milkshake is made of plastic. So why can't you make the plastic straw out of that plastic that's on the lid?
No, not as though it's winding you up still.
Start me off on Clear to marathons to milkshakes. Honestly, start me off on one. I'm here for the humour as well, lads.
Oh yeah,
The humour.
plastic kits then.
Yeah.
But-
You don't know where to go now.
No, it's completely thrown me. Brian saying, "Well, it's pig and nightmare. I need to find something that works." We'll have a Brian. I think we're meeting up tomorrow to talk about fishing. Bizarrely enough, which has nothing to do with this chat, but we'll have a chat about that. Aztec is also mentioning Opal Fruits, bloody Starburst. Yeah, Opal Fruits. It was Opal Fruits to us. Aztec bars. It's like Curly Whirly. It's small. Yes.
Oh yeah, Curly Whirlies. Oh, that's a black one. Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
I think you can't how many Walker's crisps you get in a packet on one hand.
Yeah.
Ian saying, excuse me. Ian saying, astonish. We've lost Luke for a moment. Astonish floor polish is fairly good. Brian, try that, mate. It's not expensive. Ian and Brian saying, okay, I'll give it a go.
Any clear floor polish will do it for for that.
Right.
It's only, you're only putting a sheen on it, aren't you? That's all you're doing.
Yeah. But it's just putting that finishing sealing coat on, isn't it, really? Right, Les. Moz. Sorry.
Done it.
Lad is in the corner there. Lad is in the corner.
I know.
Fair enough.
Moz, scratch that, scrub it. I'll edit it and take that file off.
Right.
Moz, we are going to give him a bit of a grilling because he deserves it. And we're going to be talking about predominantly plastic kits, obviously, while we've got Moz here with us. So, question one of how many we ever get through? Probably about 10 of them. How did you get into plastic model kit building?
Right. First off, I got into scale modeling through my love of space. I love space. Anything about the planets, everything else. But I think it was because my mother worked at a factory that made accessories for railways. So, and she used to come home with flat pack plastic bits of an engine shed or a platform, and I would make it use and build them up. No instructions. I used to get the brochure from this company that she used to work for, and build up the kits like that using the old poly cement and Provo, I think it was called, or something like that back in the day. And from that railway work, I realized that I could build space models, and I ended up building the Vostok, with the Saturn in the mid 80s, early 90s. Then I got into the cars. I built a Mini, I built a lorry, and all with all with help with friends. And my father got a few kits for me back in the day as well. And then I kind of fell out of it because the pull of playing football and women and booze, and it kind of went on the back burner. And then when I had a child, got divorced, ended up in a flat by myself, then remarrying, I found a starter set, a Revell starter set of a plane, and I just built that, and I thought this didn't change much, and I went back into it, and from that point on, the last 15 years I've been building scale model kits. Just
that Saturn, as far as I remember when I was a kid, was an iconic model.
Yeah,
the rocket
sits out the side of your bed, like what I mean?
It was Well, you always used to picture when scale modelers had got a room and they got stuff suspended from the ceiling. Planes predominantly. Somebody'd have an Orca Harrier or that iconic Saturn rocket.
And the beauty of that Saturn. Sorry,
go on, Les.
The beauty of that Saturn rocket, it was white.
Yeah.
So you could paint it with any paint.
Anything. Yeah.
If I remember rightly, I think I used a roller on it. You know what I mean? It was, I was a youngster.
Emulsion.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4 coats of that. I'm not lying either.
No.
You could paint plastic with gloss paint.
Yeah.
People forget this. With enamel, gloss really is an enamel, isn't it? If you think about it.
Well, yeah.
The old gloss paint was, but yeah.
I'm just, people laugh about it, and I say to them, I painted mine with some sort of gloss.
I mean, we talk about the ingredients that are missing off some of the food that and the sweets and stuff like that. But if you go to a shop and ask for gloss and undercoat, if you're doing a door or skirting board, you always get the water-based stuff, and it's just like a meh. It's just like a wash. And you have to actually go and seek the solvent base, which is still produced by Leyland and Dulux, but it takes some seeking out.
I don't rate this all in one coat gloss.
No.
When I went to college back in 1996, we were prepping doors right from the very. But this is why I think that I'm quite specific on how I do paintwork now. You get your door. First thing you do is you would rub it down, fill in the little holes where the pins are and everything, and then you would prime it, and you would do the corners first, let that dry, then you would prime the door, then you would undercoat it, probably give it 2 undercoats, and the gloss was the final coat.
Yeah.
And if you look at doors that have that 4 or 5 stage process, give it 2 undercoats, then because the undercoat would level out. So you would have that finish to put the gloss on top. If you didn't have that finish, that gloss would look pretty poor.
I'll give you a bit of advice. I found this out recently. Do not, if you're painting a radiator, do not use the water-based undercoat and gloss. It will rust. Rust will come through. It's just that simple. You need to use a primer and the solvent base, but that's got nothing to do with plastic kits. But we'll chuck it in there as a free tip anyway.
That's all right. Yeah.
How to paint your radiators.
Not the radiators on your die-cast car. It's all about the radiators on the wall.
Mark, can you remember what got you in, Mark? What got you into doing plastic kits? Because you've done plastic kits in the past.
Yeah. Oh, blimey. I'll go back to when I was probably 7, I would think, around about that age when Airfix were about, and I had a neighbour and about the same age as myself, and we used to go up to the local town with our pocket money and buy the Airfix kits, what were in plastic bags with the stapled instructions over the top. Pretty basic. The paint at that time was Airfix paint that we bought in a glass bottle.
Yeah.
And the glue that was usually like in the tube as it has, and that normally goes everywhere. And yeah, we should sit outside in the. We had an outdoor building, and it was my friend and I just sit there, and we'd spend our Saturdays getting our kit. Probably take us about an hour to build it, and that's it. There were glue marks and finger marks all over the place. But we should love it, and we used to do that every weekend. And then as I got older, I spent a little bit more time and care over doing them at one time. My biplanes, early biplanes, always had slopey wings because they would never, that glue would take sometimes forever to set, and the wings would slide off to one side and stuff like this. And like Mos, you have a break, you know, as you get older, life takes over and you have a break. And then I got back into it again. And I've always been more military and aircraft and stuff like this. I've done a few cars in the past, but I like to do the military, the tanks and the aircraft and stuff like this. Then it becomes a place of where you're going to put it when you've done it. You know, I had a cupboard when I got married the first time. I had a cupboard there that had all the Matchbox when they came out. I bought a lot of Matchbox kits because they was for sale in my local shop around the corner at quite a cheap price, and I was going in there and buying them once a week. And I had a load in there, but then you think, well, what am I going to do with it now? So I gave a lot away to other youngsters who would hang them on the ceilings and stuff like this. But then I went away from it again and then come back. I've been back and forward in and out of it for a lot of years. I always like to keep a stock of kitchen paints and stuff like this because, you know, you never know when you like turn you around to having a go.
It's interesting though, when you say giving kits or what giving stuff away, what comes around goes around, because we've started doing that again to, you know, members of our community who like plastic kits. Luke's son Owen came and joined us for a day out at a toy fair, and I think he went home with, I don't know, 20 odd plastic kits by the time everyone just piled him into Luke's boot. Like,
I'll tell you what he bought into at the minute. He likes building the planes.
The planes.
He seems to find them easier than trying to do the cars, because he's like me. He doesn't read the instructions. He just tells it.
Well, yeah, he said blokes, you know, chuck them away, don't need them. How do I get this video player working?
Yeah, you say that, Paul, but I had my father was quite strict in respect of stuff like him being in the service all his life, and it was always a case of you will read the instructions, you will read that, and he used to make me read the instructions before I did anything, and same as map reading. We used to go out as youngsters in the car on a Sunday for a drive. It was a case of I got the map reading job. And if it wasn't right, poor my flipping heck, you know. So, yeah, I've always got used to doing instructions. I always read the instructions before I do anything now. I always have done. But it doesn't mean to say you cock up, because you do sometimes cock up if you do read the instructions.
Do you know what I always recommend to people if they struggle with instructions? Give them an IKEA flat pack to build fast. Then they can I'm not joking. I did an article about it, you know, in my book, and I said the chapter about, you know, just read the instructions. That's all it is. RTFM for everything now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you want to learn how to read instructions, just do an IKEA flat pack set of drawers, and I'll tell you what, you learn so much because it's simplified as hell. Yeah.
The only other thing is, if you want an entertaining afternoon, you sit in the IKEA car park and watch them try and put that stuff in their cars. They just
Yeah.
Spin it in the boot.
Yeah, definitely.
Laz, did you ever do any plastic kits?
Yes. In 1995, I was 19 and I moved to my dad. We built a house in 1992, and after the army and everything, I went to stay with my dad. I had my own room, and we had a big we had like 80 square meter downstairs area on under the ground floor, so like a like a cellar area, garage, and
Right.
boiler room, stuff like that. And I had my own room there. And I always liked cars, and I was dreaming about a Opel Manta to buy, because I bought that in 1997. But before that, I wanted to build that, like a model kit. I couldn't find it, but I did find a Renault Alpine A110, so I built that, and MGB, and I had two Mi-25 Russian helicopters, the Mi-24. I think it was I can't remember the American name for it, because they had a code name for the Mi-24. And I built some MiG-15, MiG-17, MiG-21. So these Russian, but they were all Tamiya and Italy had good models as well. And and I had my own. I had a little like a writing furniture. You flap down the front door and you have little packs and everything. So I put my stuff in there, and instead of going anywhere, I sometimes
like your writing bureau.
Yes, the writing bureau. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I finished 2 o'clock at work, Friday afternoon. I went home. I had a shower. I had my lunch. 5 o'clock, I started to do the model kits, and I didn't finish till 4 o'clock in the morning. I went to sleep, had a shower, had breakfast, start again. So all weekend, I was just doing, painting, reading the instructions. Oh, next is the engine. So I put the engine together, put this, that, and I was already seeing. And I think even nowadays, when I restore the matchboxes, when I start restoring the matchbox, I can already see how it's going to look when it's finished. So I have a vision that it's going to look like that, and I can't wait to put them together. Sometimes I'm a little bit too impatient, and that's why I have to do it again, because I put fingerprints all on. I try to rush it a little bit, but I know I shouldn't. But I just can't wait to see them ready. And
I think sometimes with diecast restorers as well too.
I did build the Sherman tank. I did try dioramas as well, but I wasn't too interested. I did start. I wanted to build I did build a village jeep as well from the Second World War, and I wanted to put that on a diorama. So there was a shop in my hometown, the only shop for modeling, and the owner was a middle-aged lady. And she was really nice. She was doing like we do now, like a monthly challenge. So you could build something and then take it to the shop, put it on the shelf, and like 15 of us entered the competition. And she always announced a winner for this month, and you got a box of something, a kit, a Tamiya kit or something. Cool. And it was really good. And unfortunately, she had cancer and she passed away. And his son wasn't like her. And after 3 years, she shut the shop. He shut the shop. So that finished. And then I went to, I left Hungary. So I stopped doing this and I started in England again, but with diecast. Because with the model kits, they need to be displayed and I don't have the space. So that's why I was thinking I'll do diecast.
Yeah.
So this is my I've done a lot of American cars because I love the muscle cars from the 60s and 70s, but none of them I have now. They all gone.
I mean, when I was a kid, as I was saying about the Saturn V rocket, there was about 5 or 6 iconic kits that came out in the early 70s.
I had the Sputnik. I
That
had the
Hawker
Sputnik.
Harrier. I can remember that Hawker Harrier as clear as day.
If you remember the Russian one.
Yeah, it was quite a big one, and the amount of people that had them strung from the ceiling, strung from the ceilings.
And I had a lot of models from the American company ATM. Is it ATM?
Is
AMT.
Or
AMT.
AMT? Yeah, I had a lot of muscle cars from AMT. Yes.
Let's just pop into the chat and say a very good evening to our friend Jerry. How are you, mate? Good to see you.
Evening, Jerry.
Evening.
Evening. Brian's saying, I love plastic kits. Ian, only got one plastic kit, Brian. It's an unused boxed monogram Porsche 924 from 1977 in racing red, complete with instructions. Wow. Brian said, I do planes, tanks, and army vehicles, Ian. And Brian, kindly remind everybody, please give us a thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe. Thank you for saying that, Brian. It's much appreciated. Question 2. That didn't take long then, did it? Just one question.
We're going to be here a while, lads.
Good here this time next week. Here on the DMC live chat. What was your favourite model kit you've ever built?
Crumbs. The last one I've built, basically.
You said that, and I thought that's strange. Is your last one always your best one?
Yeah, definitely. That's quite a general comment, but like the last kit I built was that Ferguson. The complete was that Ferguson tractor.
You got it there?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah.
Don't be shy.
There's pictures online.
Accidentally, it's there.
You know, I always keep saying it's your last kit because it's, you know, but this was because I was using techniques that I haven't used for a while, or I've, you know, but I don't think you can see that on the camera there. That's the Ferguson tractor.
Lovely. Yeah.
It
looks like a die cast.
Well, that's it. You know, they all.
Well, he's got a story. It's funny you talk about dioramas because he's got a bit of a story about that tractor, haven't you, Les?
Yeah.
Mos.
£10 every time he says it now.
That's 40 quid, so
it's right. It's right. What was I going to say then? Yeah, you know, they thought it was die cast, and they wanted to pick it up, make sure that it was actually plastic. But yeah, I keep saying it's always your last kit. But for instance, I'm building this this LU, this Lux from Revell, and you know, and the wheels have come off because they're not even glued on yet. But that there, honestly, I would rather have caught me foreskin in me flies and do all that again. You know, the detail of every part, everything's a single part there, and it took a bit of an enjoyment out of it. But like I said, you know, when this is probably finished, I'll look back at it and it'll be up there in the top 10 of the kits I've built, because, as I said, you know, every time you build a kit and you move on, you know, your last kit is always your best kit, and you know, and because that's the last thing you remember. You know, when you see these kits you've built, you know, you kind of go back to, you know, there's fond memories of, but you forget half of what you've done to those kits within the week. So when you got something fresh in your mind, like that tractor, which it took me about 2 weeks to build, on and off, and I was saying I sat at the bench and just carved out 2 weeks, jumping in and out of the kit. It was very satisfying to remove the paint to bring the rust effect through. See, and that was what really made it for me, you know. And also, it was a really good kit to build. It was the instructions were a little bit cagey. There's some mistakes in the instructions, but nothing that you wouldn't spot when you were putting the kit together, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it was cheap enough. It came with two Fergusons. I've given one to my mate to build with, so he's built the other one. And like I said, I can remember certain kits with fondness, like the Bearcat, the 148 Bearcat. I built 7 or 8 of them. But I built the Hobby Boss 148 version, and it went together like a dream, and it was really nice to build. I enjoyed building the Ferret Scout from Airfix, the latest 1/35 of that. Then again, I enjoyed building the 1/48 scale quad bikes that they released once and never released again. You know, just going through the sort of kits, I could, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, I remember building a space shuttle and I have fond memories, but you know, as I said, the best kit I've ever built was the last one. You know, in theory, should be the last one, because you know, every time you build a kit, you get better, or you refine what you do. So when I wasn't being flippant by saying my last kit, that's basically the truth. You know, every kit brings you to a new place and you try new techniques. And I think when I got rid of the fear of ruining a kit, that was when I started to really break out of what I was doing in scale modeling, you know, really push the limits of what I could do. Because, you know, you just imagine you spend 5 hours building a car up, and then you think, I won't do that 2K diamond clear on top, because I hear that it's hit and miss whether it works or not. But you won't know until you try it. If you do get it wrong, you think yourself, oh, that means I've got to strip the paint away. And this is what happened with the Tempest. When I built that Airfix Tempest, put the masking tape down, everything, sprayed it all up, and the masking tape reacted. And so what happened? All the paint got in underneath, and I had to strip it back. And I spent hours stripping it all back, you know, trying to be careful not to remove the paint in the cockpit and everything, just to strip it back. And I realized then that, yeah, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I could chuck that kit away and start it again. But a lot of people get pressure. So I spent all this time and everything on doing this, and it goes wrong. And if you worry about that, then you won't progress further. You know,
I mean, I will say, Brian's given me a get out clause, and apparently Mos is French. That's why I'm calling him Le Mos.
Le Mos.
That's my get out. So
yeah.
That's what I'm going
That's
with.
fine. No, it's right. So, not 30 quid in the bank already.
I'm paying your license fee. But it takes a set of grapefruits to go live and do that on YouTube. I know that you do that with your Airfix and Chill to a certain extent, while building models live on screen.
We don't do
anything
that
possibly go wrong.
We don't build models live on Airfix and Chill anymore. We haven't.
All right, okay.
It kind of progressed. Airfix and Chill kind of progressed from a group of us just building models to actually having a panel and a debate and a question to answer every single Airfix and Chill. The only time that I build on the bench live is if I'm doing a D'Agostini kit where they send me the parts every month, or I have a channel members only live stream on a Thursday where we're building kits and talking about it, going through techniques, etc.
Right.
But I don't actually build live anymore. Firstly, there was no call for it. They were the lowest viewed videos on there. The ones that really that really catch on are the novelty ones, like top 10 of this, how to do this, how to do that. And I think that's because YouTube has now become one huge search for an answer to your problem. That's what it really is.
I mean, if you go the YouTube route, you've also got to look for the next thing that turns folks on to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you've got 25 people all building the same kit, yours has got to be a little bit different, or you've got to have something different to pull in those views. But that's another.
Unless they know what you're doing, it's very difficult to pull them in. You know, they just see a picture of a Ferret Scout on the screen, you know, and they'll see 12 of them. It's all about what's on that thumbnail that's going to drag them into that. No, it's not, you know, how well you built that kit. Crumbs. I'm not sounding disrespectful here when I say this, but I've seen some really shockingly shite builds on YouTube that have got thousands and thousands of views, where somebody who's actually put in the effort and done a really good job on a kit has got less views, but their thumbnail and their title is crap. You know, and
it's like I mean, we've always, you know, I mean, one of my beefs is that the likes of Martin Dare does these fantastic builds, and somebody clicks on what he started with, miss out 20 minutes of content of how to tell you how to do it to get to the end point to see what it looked like.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think do you cut it? It's the old adage: do you cut it out or do you leave it there?
Leave it in.
You've got to
People
leave
have
it
a
in because
mistake.
that first person to watch that video could be a new subscriber. So you've got to leave it in.
I think also is that I think you tend to have some sort of, I think the algorithm on YouTube, if somebody watches a lot of your content, you will get recommended more to that certain person. And other than that, it's all chance of whether they like your thumbnail or your title of your video. So
Yeah,
that's the difference.
we had many hours, me and Moz, talking about YouTube analytics and stuff like that. Was many good hours well spent.
It was, and a lot of
which-
testing as well. A lot of testing.
Yeah.
What worked, but then again, to be fair, I did a video about one kit, and it was all right. That's right. I tell you what it was. I did a catalog video. Tamiya catalog video, one of my first catalog videos, and it did over 50,000 views. But my building of that tractor has only accumulated about 7,000 views.
Right.
And you wonder, what people don't really want to see. It's difficult, It's I think the thumbnail was pretty good for it, but as I said, other than that, it hasn't really pulled anybody into the channel as such. But the catalog video I did of Tamiya back 4 years ago, during that time, people just went bam and watched it, and that was it. I gained over 1,000 subscribers in a night, So I think it's difficult, but I think the algorithm is a strange beast, and sometimes it's about problem solving anyway. If somebody wants to see how do I glue this bit, how a workaround, they'll go looking on YouTube for it.
Yeah, it will get to the point if somebody's been a subscriber with you for long enough, they'll know the process and procedures that you put in place.
Yeah.
So they're looking for what's the new model you're doing and what's it going to look like.
Oh, review videos. A new kit that comes out from Airfix or somebody, and you do a review video on it of what you get inside the box, get more views than a build, because people are looking, should I buy that kit? I wonder what's it look like inside. And then they go bang, and that's where they see it. So
it's like the alternative of an unboxing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's right. I mean, you get unboxing videos; they always do well, no matter who's doing them. People just not being nosy, but they just want to see what you got. What you got this week, what you got this week. And
next car. What's the next car?
Yeah, what's your next car? What's your next car? Yeah, but it's good. Moz, I'm going to ask you, what do you strip your paint off? If you've made a mistake, say you painted it, it's gone all wrong. What solution do you use to strip your paint off your plastic model kits?
Dettol,
yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
So what is Dettol?
It's relatively cheap. Cheap.
What is?
There's another product out there called Strip Magic by what's the company called?
It's an antiseptic. It's an antiseptic cleaner.
Oh, Dettol is an antiseptic cleaner. Yeah. We used to use it in the
It's got a really
80s
smell to it as well.
Yeah, well, we used to use Dettol in the early 80s if you got nits, and you used to rub it in your hair to stop you from getting
Yeah.
I know what Dettol is. It's just for if someone don't know what Dettol is.
So
they are not
how
in
long
the
would
UK.
how long would you leave it in for?
I think overnight.
Overnight. It doesn't. It doesn't soak up into the plastic then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good for dandruff, spots and pimples.
Yeah.
You've got serious problems with your Airfix kit, mate. If you've got pimples,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what it's for, isn't it?
Is it an Airfix model or an Airfix model?
I did if you go on my channel, if you go on my channel and you go on the channel, just type in Dettol or removing paint. I did it with the acrylics and the enamels. It works phenomenally with enamel paint. It really does. Comes off like as a skin. Really, just peels off like a skin.
So do you not get different outcomes based on whether you're using acrylics or enamels?
Well, enamels, yeah. What the Dettol does actually, it gets underneath the paint more. I always say that like the enamel side of it is more like more like a skin, with the acrylic,
Yeah.
it kind of comes off like a broken powder.
Yeah.
But they both do the same job.
Yeah.
And the reason I use Detto is that it's 100% proven method of removing paint. I've got that Strip Magic up here, which I get from Deluxe Materials. Is it Deluxe Materials? Yeah. I've got a bottle of this in, but and they say, yeah, you know, you can use this stuff, but I wouldn't leave it on more than a night because it can remove, you know, it can warp and bugger about with the plastic.
Yeah.
On there, like, you know, to try it on a patch.
Might
But
be-
it should remove it in about 15 minutes. This is a quick one, but
If
I
you-
wouldn't leave it on more than that. But with the Detto,
Got you, Luke.
I kind of, I like to just put it. I got a big pot, and I just, because that's the thing about Detto is that you can just leave it on there.
All right.
Take the pot out, scrub it all off, and then in theory you could filter that Detto through with a coffee filter. But I don't. I just use it for the next one. And I know my friend Tam, he left a model in there in Detto for 6 months because he forgot about it. And when it came out, the paint had gone and the model was pristine, like, you know, underneath. So Detto for me is a fail safe. But if you're in a rush and you, like, say you buggered up one part of the wing and you just want to remove the wing, that works in about 15 to, you know, 5 to 15 minutes. But I wouldn't leave it on longer than that because it will start to bubble on the plastic. So
Luke's got a question. I'll come back to you because
Right.
I've got a question about that Strip Magic. Luke, go on.
Yeah, just a quick. I'll start messaging on about with the Detto. Have you tried that with the outlaw paints?
yeah,
Does it work?
works.
Does it?
Yeah.
Surprise me there. Surprise me.
Why is that?
Because usually it's finished to take it off.
No. The thing is with Detto is that it doesn't actually really, it doesn't melt the paint. What it does, it removes the bond between the paint and the plastic.
Are you not rubbing the plastic down then?
I never rub plastic down.
Do you not?
All I ever do with plastic is wipe it with IPA to make sure there's no grease marks on it, and I'm straight on with the primer than the paint.
Right.
In fact, I don't really use primer so much now. The reason I use primer now with the outlaw paints is that if if there's a dark, say the plastic isn't grey, for instance, and the plastic's either a green or a brown or a black, I will spray it grey because I think that the color underneath is what affects the color on the outside. So I always think that grey is a really good natural medium to start on. And so I know that in my mind, if that plastic's grey, I know that if I spray 2 coats of this red, it's going to be the red that I want. If it was on white, for instance, and I spray that red, it's going to take more layers because you've got the brightness of the white coming through.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I always try and get I love plastic being grey, and that's why I always, if I got a plastic that isn't grey, I will prime it grey. But other than that, I don't bother unless.
This is where we start to get the crossover between the two hobbies.
Yeah, and then like the other instance is I want to go dark and I want to do like real good panel lines and do some pre-shading. I will spray something black and then I would white spot in the middle of the panels, things like that. That's the only other time I do it. But normally when generally as a rule of thumb, I like my plastic grey. If it's already grey, I don't bother priming. I just go straight on with the outlaw paint. And that's where it works. Like, yeah, but it does come off. The outlaw paints does come off with Detto. May take a bit longer, but
forgive me, I've been ignoring the chat. So let's just jump in and say hello to a few folks. So hobby time. Hey Moz,
one of my subscribers and members.
Good lad. Welcome hobby time. I think his name's Gordon because Darren's saying hi, Gordon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Welcome, guys. Brian said I have a new video up. Thanks to all that watched it. Absolutely, go and please go and have a look at Brian's channel in Search of the Lost Diecast. Moz loves the Airfix Concorde. Loads of laughs. I recommend Brian's latest video, worth a watch. It's made by Deluxe Materials.
Yeah, that's a Strip Magic. Yeah, Magic is.
Yes, I've got a question about that. What about TCP?
TCP is basically Detto, but you can use it in your body, can't you?
Yeah.
Because they used
Good
to
old
get those
TCP, I
little
remember that when I was a kid. Any scratches or anything, we'll sort out most things, John. I swear by the stuff. Still smells like it did 40 years ago, like Dettol does. Jerry, I use LA's totally awesome cleaner with great success, but you guys can't find it over there. Give floor wax stripper on plastic car. Give floor wax stripper on plastic cars. And Darren saying Outlaw Pink Primer is brilliant.
Yeah, it's gone down well, that one. It takes
So
still gets
that Strip Magic, is it a gel?
No, it's not. It's a pure liquid. Well, it's liquidy. It's not. You can just see in the bottle there. It's not quite a gel. It's a thicker liquid than gel. But yeah, it's good stuff.
The reason I ask is, if we were using, I mean, we as die-cast restorers would use mainly caustic soda. And you'd have a bowl of caustic soda. So how are you applying that Strip Magic? Are you doing it with a brush? Because it's a small container.
Yeah, that's why I use the brush. So basically, if I've made a mistake on a wing or something, say that I sprayed up, and I just nicked it with my thing, and I think I'm not going to rub it out. I'm going to strip it back. I would basically mask up a line, and then brush Strip Magic it all along, right top and bottom.
Right.
Leave it for about 5 or 15 minutes, and wash it off with soapy water, and then give that a wipe down with IPA, isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah.
And then it will start again on the paint job, prime it, and away we go.
Wow. So, we've had an hour. We've only asked 2 questions. There's no way we're going to get to 10.
Am I that good, am I?
You're doing good, boy. So question 3 then. Do you remember any mistakes you made when starting out?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
What was the biggest mistake you made when you assumed when you first started out?
I think my biggest mistake was spending up £300 on Vallejo fucking paint, and it's crap. That Model Air. Oh yeah, if you start an airbrushing, use Model Air. Don't talk shite. There's better paint for that. I think my greatest victory was going from acrylic paint to lacquer paint. This is what I'm saying. I was predominantly Tamiya LP lacquer paint. And which is, as I said, it is an acrylic lacquer, same as what Outlaw paint is, but it comes in a bottle that you have to mix. I think the biggest mistake I ever made was thinking I could spray Humbrol paint through an airbrush. What another mistake I made was forgetting to, and this is a bad one, so don't ever do this. I needed to do some work on a Concorde, and they needed to spray the back of the fin this blue, and it was the only color I could have at the time could get was the enamel blue from Airfix, and I got this lovely airbrush, sprayed that tail fin, lovely, and then went off for a piss, had a chat with the missus. Someone came on the telly, went upstairs, had a shower, went to bed. Next morning, that enamel dried overnight in that pot, and it ruined my airbrush. I could not, for the light. When I was trying to take the needle out, I left stuff in there, rotting it to try, just destroyed the seals and everything. So I ended up chucking that. That was my biggest mistake, I think. And the other biggest mistake is I keep buying kits that I'm never ever going to have time to build, just because I like the box art. But my biggest, that's the only mistakes I've really ever made was falling asleep with enamel, using, the mistakes you kind of forget when you have the victories, if you know what I mean. If it's, you make, 5 mistakes is always going to be forgotten with that one really good finish that you get, if you know what I mean.
Well, you're learning from your mistakes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To improve the process, aren't you?
Just going to say, Luke, on the video I did about removing paint with the Dettol, I did it. I'd tell a lie. It wasn't Outlaw paints. It was the Tamiya LP I removed that paint from.
Right.
And there's basically, if it will remove that LP, it will remove the Outlaw paint stuff as well.
Right. Okay.
So that's why I wasn't telling a lie. In my mind, obviously, but it wasn't. It was the the Ford GT. That's one. I did a Ford GT in red, and it was atrocious. I could not get a glossy finish on the top of that.
Right.
And then what I did, this was just using Tamiya LP at the time, and what I did, I stripped it down using that enamel, that Detto. It's on a video,
Yeah.
you can see it coming off. You will get a red tinge in the plastic because it does soak in.
Yeah.
But you don't worry about that because you can primer over it. And then in the end, what I did, I sprayed it there, like it was like an Iron Man red. They've got an LP color that's like Iron Man,
Oh,
and
right.
it looks fantastic. There's
Yeah.
a video on it on YouTube, and I finished using that, and it was absolutely stunning.
I'll have to have a watch of that.
Yeah, but the Detto, but you got to leave it overnight. You got to leave it for a few days and stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense really, Moss. With you not sanding it down, obviously it's not adhered to the plastic anyway. Does it not chip off when you're touching it? The paint not flake off at all?
I've never don't know anyone who sands down plastic before they.
Yeah, no.
No one does in scale modeling.
Strange.
I can see it happening on plastic, on metal. You would.
Yeah.
But
Well, even plastic, but when you spray bumpers on cars, you've got to key them up well. But it's each to their own process at the end of the day. They're only sitting on the bench, aren't they?
Just asking, right? When you say that, I get what you're saying, but the plastic we use in scale models it's different to the plastic that's used in bumpers.
Yeah, yeah.
We're using, what is it called? What's the plastic? There's a name for it in there. What's the plastic? Styrene. Our plastic's styrene.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, when we gluing stuff together, we're not actually gluing plastic together. We're using a chemical process with the cement that we use to actually melt the plastic to make a bind. Yeah. And it's called a hot melt joint. That's what we're doing. And in theory, on the plastic we're doing with scale modeling, a lot of the acrylic lacquer stuff, or anything that's got like a thinner to it, is a hot melt bond. That's why you get, when you remove the paint, the grey will have pulled in the pigment from the paint, if you know what I mean. So yeah, none of us ever. Obviously, if we've made a join or something that we've had to fill it, we would rub down the fill.
Yeah.
But if we did sand down the plastic on a model kit, you would lose all the detail. So you can't.
Yeah, I'm not on about sanding it down. I'm on about keying it up.
There's no keying involved. You don't key up
styrene.
It's like a Scotch-Brite pad.
No, yeah. None of us ever do that. All we ever do is wipe down. I've never had paint remove because of plastic. What I've found is if say I'm masking something up, say there's one time plastic's peeled off, okay, on a model kit. I got this kit. It was an old Airfix tooling or something, and I didn't wipe it down with IPA. This is my first mistake. I didn't wipe it down. I just grabbed it from the built up. I thought I'd just spray that. Sprayed up the wing, sprayed up the fuselage, put the masking tape on, sprayed it up lovely. As I pulled the masking tape off, the paint was removed. But what I saw was when I removed the masking tape and the paint came off, I noticed on the plastic there was like a release agent that was used to help the plastic, because nowadays they don't use release agents so much because tooling is a lot better. Yeah. But if it was getting stuck in the tooling, they would just spray it with like a silicone release spray, and that's what you got to get rid of. Other than that, I don't know any paint that will come off a kit once it's painted on. Doesn't chip.
Just in case people are not aware, which I don't think why would they be? Luke and Mos have been exchanging ideas with paints and etc. The last couple of months, and Luke's been doing some testing on die-cast models on Mos's behalf.
Yeah,
we've had some fantastic results. So to both of them, thank you for doing that. And it's not a battle of wits. This is genuine.
Yeah, genuine talking.
Genuine. Is it doing what we're expecting it to do? And this kind of thing.
I think
Mos has been very generous with his giving us paints to try out from the Outlaw paint range. We'll come to the Outlaw paints.
But just going back to no one in scale modeling I know buffs over a scale model kit.
I was watching a guy on YouTube a couple of weeks back because I've got a couple of kits that I'm going to build. Just going to go on the channel, and he was lining out. He was doing a custom paint job, and once you remove the tape, every single stripe is put down, pulled off, and then he had to strip it, and that's when he rubbed it down.
I think that's because that kit had release agent on all of the plastic.
Maybe. I won't be taking that chance. I'll be rubbing it down. Like.
But as I said, it's.
I'll say no. I just keen it up. As a painter, that's one thing you would always see that service.
I personally would do two methods, right? Just saying with plastic, I can. I wouldn't rub it down, but I would IPA all over, wipe all the IPA off. Well, firstly, with any model kit, they will tell you straight away in the kit. The first instructions is wash it with soapy water.
Very liquid. Yeah.
And that is the first thing it ever says in instructions. The reason I don't is because I think, one, it's messy. Two, it's having to dry on the side. Whereas when I wipe down with IPA, it dries instantly. You wipe it. When you buff it with a sander, that silicone will just spread. You won't remove the silicone just by buffing it. You have to get rid of that silicone release.
I use panel wipe.
But I wouldn't with the buffing side of it. Just saying, I'm just trying to work my way around it because I've been building now for 30 years. I have never ever sanded a kit. I've always wiped the IPO, and I've never had paint pull off.
It's a lot softer, isn't it? It's a lot softer plastic than.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying, Moz. It's a lot softer on a kit than it is like a car bumper. It's a hard plastic.
The only other time I've seen people rub is in between coats, which is what you would do if you were doing a really high end,
an undercoat and a primer undercoat and gloss.
They wouldn't. They put the primer on, then they'll do a gloss or like a wet coat. Then they'll rub that down. Then they'll do another coat on top of that. Then they put the gloss on. They rub that down a little bit. Then put the gloss on. I've seen that, but on plastic, because the details are that finesse, and you have to wipe it twice. And you'll lose some of the rivets or some of the detail because
that Scotch Brite doesn't take any of the detail off. It's just designed just to keep the service.
Yeah,
seems to me like that might be a good idea for a video.
Try it out. I've never ever in all the years, and whenever somebody said I've just done this, masked up, and the paint's come off. First thing people say is, "Did you not wash it down with?" Or did you wash the kit first, or did you wipe down with isopropyl alcohol? And the bloke will say, "No, I didn't. And that's the reason. It's because there's release agent."
It's got so many uses. I mean, I use it in 3D printing all the time.
The thing I was going to say is that people say this about the new tools are dry now. They're dry. They don't use silicone release. They don't need to because the tooling's that good. But I still don't think that's true because if it's starting to stick in the machine, what they're going to do, they'll get the spray out. So it's always worth it to wash your kits down, and do that. But that's the paint's pretty good. Even the acrylic from Humbrol, when you're using a hairy stick on it, it's pretty good stuff for hairy. I wouldn't spray it for an airbrush; it's terrible. But on a hairy stick, on a brush, it's fantastic. It's good stuff.
What you use to clean the model? What is it?
IPA, isopropyl alcohol.
Okay.
I haven't got. I'm just running out, actually. To be fair, but I buy in 5 litre bottles.
Don't listen to him. You'll go out and buy one of them. He'll convince that you need to buy everything. Right?
Okay, IPA. Okay.
So I've got one of these little bottles. I've got IPA on it. Do not fucking drink it. Right? It's IPA.
You can go down to B&M, and in the makeup section, they sell these plastic bottles with spray. They're only like £1, right? About £29 they are that he's going to try and sell you that now.
No, not that bad. I got this off Amazon, to be fair. And 2 pumps is 2.5 mil a pump. So 2 of them fills up my airbrush cup. I grabbed that, put that on me little run, on my little microflace thing, and then just wipe the kit down with that. You know, so I've never ever Scotch-Brite it. I think that's a step too far, I guess. But see what you get from it. But it's normally release agent. Paints will bond.
Right.
As I said, it's styrene. It's not normal plastic. Like people say about the quick builds. It's not styrene really. It's when they first started creating these are the plastic they use is high food standard plastic. But you can't really use styrene on this.
Is it hard? Is it hard like a Trovex?
On quick builds, it's very hard. But then I would Scotch-Brite this I would sand this down if I was going to spray it with a paint, because it's a different plastic. It's a very, very hard skinned plastic where
we used to use Trovex.
Where this one here,
which was really good as well.
This is styrene. You can tell it's lighter as well. It's a lightweight.
Yeah.
But you imagine if I Scotch-Brited those ram tape lines there.
Yeah,
you're not the end off if you Scotch-Brite that.
Wouldn't do a thing to it other than just very, very minute. Would this one be styrene then as well?
Let's have a look. That's styrene, yeah.
Yeah.
That's styrene. But saying, what is it, monogram? Is it an monogram kit?
It's a level.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be covered in release.
Yeah, Rebel.
That would probably be covered in silicon because the tooling's that old. Looks like an old tool to me.
You'll find that a lot of these, depending on what you're doing. I mean, when I do military vehicles, I put a primer on just basically to bring out the details so I can see what I'm doing and looking at it and stuff like this. But the car builders, you see some of the guys who build the custom cars, similar to what Luke's holding up there, they do a lot of wet sanding and polishing and to get the shiny coats and stuff on them. Yeah,
nice.
Get rid of all let's get rid of all the panel lines. Get all the panel lines off.
Before we go into the chat.
How many people are watching the live, BJ? Can you see that?
No, but I can see we're ignoring some. We're not ignoring. We're missing some comments. So just pop into the chat if you don't mind. Darren saying Outlaw Pink Primer is brilliant. Hobby Time is saying, or the Umbral printer. I guess that's the Umbral Primer rather than the Umbral printer. Have you done? John is saying, our friend John Atwell, have you done Battleship? Are they hard to do? Have you done a Battleship?
Yeah.
Mos?
Yeah, years ago. You've got to build it in the stages. It says, I think if you build the newer tooling, you find that they're built with subsections. You sub-build the parts, and then once you've got it all together and you glue them all in, they're the better ones. It depends how big. I've never done the 1/350th scale. Yamato and things like that. I've done like 1/600s. And
is it the brand? Is it Trumpet? Is one
Trumpeter do a lot of good kits.
They're massive, aren't they? I've seen the Titanic one. It's about
it's absolutely huge. And also it comes with photo etch and everything you can think of, So Hobby Time said about the Humbrol printer. Humbrol released a 3D printer 3 or 4 years back. It was a big mistake. Don't buy it. It's crap. It's shit, and don't buy it. So
bless him. We now and again we'll have a conversation offline, and it was that one particular night Mos said to me, I'll show you what I've just had, and I think we both kind of oh dear there was a bit of a sigh on him, which we weren't impressed. Bryson, I have done, John, but unless you go for a large scale, it's a nightmare with battleships. Yeah, it depends what detail level you want to get down to, I guess. Now we've also been joined by here. Good evening to our good friend, Mr. Paul James from Pimp My Darkness. How are you, J-Mo? Good to see you, buddy.
That was a regret adding him back to Facebook. Crumbs.
He's been let loose. I agree with Moz. I've never keyed a kit, just wiped it down with IPA.
And Darren Hall's been building models for years and years and years.
Alcohol, it's called, Laz, and it's 99.9%.
90.8. 99.8 is the one you want.
If you want it from Swad, we get it pure. You can get the 100%.
I don't think there is a
99.8,
99.8, isn't it?
you can get it in a 5 litre. In actual fact, no, I had it last night.
It's called White Lightning, isn't it? It's what?
It's called battery acid. You can get it off Amazon, Laz, for a decent price.
I'm just going to say, when Luke comes back, that Impaler he's got there is a 2000, so it's a 25-year-old kit. So, and it's been tooled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 times.
Now, don't you go and upset him.
So 15 times that's been tooled. You can imagine there's wear and tear on that tooling, and they will probably use some sort of silicon spray so that could make the tooling escape.
Oh, so Jane was saying. So let's just recap. Sharon saying, I agree with Moz. I've never keyed a kit. Just wipe it down with IPA.
Yeah.
And Luke also mentioned panel wipe. You can go down to Screwfix or Tool Station, and you can get a spray bottle of panel wipe and panel wipes as well. JMO saying, threw neat TCP on my shin after pulling off my skin. Took 3 hours to get me off the ceiling, and Wales replied to me from the North Sea. Wow. Did it sting a little, JMO says again? Yes, I imagine it did. I used one of those for my... Oh, then we'll move on to the next part. I used... A lot was like being peeled and thrown down a salt mine. 15 watching. Good evening to all 15 people that are watching. If you haven't commented in the chat, please say hello. Evening, Thunderbirds. Right, that's it. We've caught up. Wow. Where were we? Right. So, after all that, question 4. What type of model kits do you enjoy building the most? Whether it be a plane, a tank, a car? I think if I'm gonna I'm not gonna guess what you're gonna. I think I know what you might say, but go on, mate. What's your top favorite type of vehicle, era, model?
Well, people know that I'm a Bearcat fanatic. I love the Bearcat. I think it's one of the most glorious piston engine prop planes ever built. You know, it never quite made it to war. Same as that, is on par with the MB5 or the Martin Baker 5. You know, it designed it would piss all over the Spitfire, but it ended in the war. It joined the war too late. I like that. I like prop planes. I do like a lot of Russian jets. I've got into looking at jet. The MiG-17s. I've got a flanker that I'm halfway through building, which has been a lovely little build so far. I've got but it's Russian, obviously, or Soviet, I should say. Nice little flanker there that I'm working on. I like tired. I like tracked vehicles. I don't do so many tanks than I do with planes, but I've done a lorry. You know, I don't think there's a favorite. I just like scale modeling, and if a subject takes me far, I think it's the same with you guys with your diecast.
Yeah.
You know, I bet there's a lot of you that I remember. Some of you would like to do, the 80s cars. Some would do the futuristic cars. I think, but it doesn't stop you from doing any other sort of subject matter. It's whatever tickles your fancy at the time, I guess, wouldn't it?
I know you're always looking forward to the next release of kits to see what the likes of Airfix bring out.
Oh, remember, I'm not. People call me an Airfix fanboy, and I think it's a derogatory, not derogatory, but I think you're missing the point. I'm an Airfix collector.
Yeah.
That's why I don't just like I was going through my stash the other day. I've got tons of Airfix stuff, but people don't realise that these things here that were gracing mothers,
Wow.
the
pride.
home pride. This is
Yeah.
you put your flower in there, didn't you? And
Yeah,
shape
yeah.
your
Yeah.
flower. Now people didn't realise that. These were hanging around. Every mother and grandmother had one in their kitchen.
They did. Yeah.
They were
Mine-
made
mine
by,
had one,
maybe you can
yeah.
see that on the camera. This was made by Airfix. It's Airfix plastic.
Wow. I
Made
didn't know
with
that. I never
Airfix
knew
plastic.
that.
I've got do you remember Weebles Wobble, but they don't fall
Yeah,
down?
yeah, yeah.
Airfix made them. Do you remember the teapot, the yellow teapot for kids? There was a yellow teapot. Made Bluebird released it, but it was called the Yellow Teapot, and it was a
Right.
and kids used to play with it, and it was a massive thing. It was, and there's a teapot house basically made. But I sold one the other week. Well, not the other week, the other day. And I got 300 quid for it, incomplete. I've got a complete one upstairs in the attic out the
Wow.
way, but I'm an Airfix collector. But the reason I started doing YouTube was because I was doing these kits like the vintage classics, and I was putting my point across saying as somebody who's got a nostalgia and a feel for Airfix from growing up with it and everything, I think you're being quite harsh on Airfix. There's always a purpose. People, knocking Airfix because of the vintage classic range, but they pulled everybody out from the gutter by saying we're going to release these kits as old tooling. You will know it's old tooling because it's going to be called vintage classic, and they're going to be kits that were released before they were taken over by Hornby. So it was all like pre-CAD sort of era when it was run by when it was Airfix and Humbrol Heller sort of ownership. And they're not lying to you, and the prices of these kits are quite cheap. And I was doing these reviews, and Dale found me on YouTube and said, "Can you come?" Well, he found me on another channel. I was watching another channel at the time, a live stream, and he went, "Moz, can you contact me? I need a favor." So I contacted him, and he said, "We all love your videos. We watch them here. Can you come up to Duxford and we've got a Spitfire day?" So I went up there, and they announced that 124 Spitfire. So but I'm an Airfix collector. I've got all sorts lying around here that's all Airfix. Even this is a copy of the Hornby of the Airfix price list from back in 1978, a year I was born. So I'm able to say in 1978 a Spitfire would have cost you 40p because it tells you there all the prices of all the their biggest kit. So there's 20th series kits. If you look at that, was £9.25. £9.25 for a series 20. Now a series 20 kit is a 1/24 scale machine. So that Spitfire, which you buy now, is £95. But back in 78 would have cost you £9. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference, that's how much we earn now. It's like things like that. That's what I collect. I collect their quick builds. I do their quick builds, like their buses and their tanks. And people accuse me of being a fanboy, but no, I'm somebody who's got a genuine interest of Airfix. And the other thing is that I want Airfix to be around forever. I want Airfix to win. That's what I want.
Yeah,
And I think that they will.
I think the Airfix, they also did the model railway series, made their own trains, locomotives,
and that all went. All those old. I tell you how good Airfix is. Okay, all those old toolings, a lot of them are still in production today.
Yeah,
with a company called Dapo.
Yeah, Dapo. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I got a JCB on a Bomac, JCB Bomac on a thing. and I've got it's a proper old Airfix kit.
I'm just going to have to.
What?
We're getting so enthralled in this. I didn't, I didn't think we met 2 hours on this, but we're getting so enthralled. But I don't want to miss the chat, so just want to pop back into the chat. I'd like to, on behalf of our DMC crew, because he's a new member, David J saying hi everyone. Welcome, David. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the DMC.
All right.
For those that don't know, we've invited our good friend Mos from Mos6510 Models. We're giving him a bit of a grilling, but we're getting one as well. So that's all good stuff.
I hope not. I hope you're interested in what I'm saying. Like, you Scotch Brite what you want, mate.
You Scotch Brite
away.
Never gonna let that one go, are you, mate?
I've never heard of it before, to be fair. It makes you think the beauty of this is I'm going to go away now. I'm going to get some Scotch Brite and just see how well it works.
You know, you can buy it on a reel that goes on a.
I'm just, as I say, with the plastic being so soft, you like I say, when you put it in this is the thing, when you actually wash the kit, you don't whack it in hot water with soapy water. It's lukewarm water, because if it's too hot, you'll end up warping the bloody thing, and you don't want to warp the plastic.
If you polish a windscreen, you're using something like that reminds me, Tack Light scrapped. 2 I found out this week. Revive It is no longer available in the floor polish version, and Tack Light have been found by Amazon to be encouraging people to give them good reviews. So Amazon have sacked them off.
What, Tack Light?
The Tack Light on Amazon anymore.
Can you send me a link to that?
Yeah, I will do, mate. Well, a discussion to be had offline.
Okay, we'll do that after then.
You have to remind me.
And then, have you got a link there for Scotch Brite?
We'll find
the grey stuff, you're gonna get it.
You just got me thinking, because, like I say, this is what I love. This is why I do FX and chill, because you get us thinking about these things. Because I would never have rubbed down a kit, because silicone is awful stuff. It spreads. That's the problem. Silicone just spreads everywhere. If
yeah, but if that kit's got silicone on it, you'd obviously clean it first. Then you Scotch Brite it.
Yeah.
Then you put your undercoat on or whatever you're doing. That's my approach. Like before I spray anything, you key the service. That's just me.
Is just so that people know that this is again. Just to reiterate, this is a discussion, but Luke's got a background in automotive painting.
The other thing, this is just saying, because just quickly, this one's here has had one coat of outlaw paint on. It's got another coat yet.
Yeah.
But where I had had a bit of a blemish, right? And I used I sanded off the blemish, and then I went over the top with a 2000 grit sand. I've still got some very minor scratches coming through on the plastic. Would that be the same? Just like I don't know. Come on, Cameron, focus. There's some very, very fine, minute scratches. Everything else is all nice and done, but there's like the scratches of the actual plastics come through. Is that the sort of scratches you would get on Scotch Brite? Would you get little scratches?
No, you can barely see them, Moss. You can barely see it with the Scotch Brite.
I'm just wondering if it, I say, but there's another step when you're preparing the model, and we don't really do that. We just
have you got
really interesting.
This is going to be a shot in the dark. Have you got 2 fairly cheap models?
I've got loads of cheap models.
You've got loads. Why don't we do a bit of a contest to see about? Let's cause some damage to a model.
Just want to say how would you if the paint sticks on the model absolutely fine, right? How can you then tell whether the Scotch Brite's made any difference whatsoever if it's still stuck?
I've not built any kits, Moz. I was just thinking with you saying that's going underneath the paint. Yeah. If that surface was keyed up, it wouldn't do that. It wouldn't remove it.
Oh, I see. Right.
Because But I've watched guys, especially when they're hand painting interiors, or even when they're spraying the body, and the paint separates and it leaves little holes where it's gone back to the plastic. If they'd keyed that up, that wouldn't happen.
That is release agents doing that. That's not because of the plastic. That's what release agent
But
does.
I've watched them clean it. I've watched them panel wipe it first,
That's
and
the
it
IPA, right?
separates tiny plastic.
They need to
Paint
wash
separated.
if they wash the kit, and then or use IPA, that will remove that that silicone release. There's nothing to do with the plastic. That's a silicone release. That's I might do that actually. I might get one because I've got 2 kits up there which I know are 1980s. They will be covered in chip fat. I call it chip fat. I don't call it silicone.
Before these two gently throttle each
other.
other.
You got me thinking about it, mate.
I'm interested. I'm
With the
interested.
greatest mob in the world, like.
Carry on.
The release agent will be more prominent when you're hand painting, because if your airbrush is a very thin layer of paint, if you're hand painting inside, I mean, I've had it myself on a few aircraft that I've done, painted cockpits inside by hand, and I haven't cleaned it properly, and that's happened.
I know that these two are itching to get together and do a bit of testing on
I am now
paints and stuff like that. So we're going to try and set that up in some way, shape, or form. But there seems to me to be a bit of a contest to be had regarding Scotch Brite and how to apply it and whether you can apply it. So we'll come up with, watch this space, folks in the chat. Watch this space. We'll come up with something. Right, and we'll do a bit of a test just for fun, to see what we can come up with. I'll let Luke and Mos lay the law down about how they want to do it, but we'll have a bit of a test.
I don't think you could actually test it, but what it would be interesting if you hand painted something, and if it doesn't separate, then would the Scotch Brite make any difference?
You come up with the rules. The rules between you. Jumping back into the chat.
Here we go.
JMO. Glasnost Conrad Mos.
Glasnost.
Brian saying no rhyme or reason to what diecast takes your fancy. Absolutely true, mate. Even some new models tick boxes. I have a few Oxford models, and the detail at 1/72 scale is amazing. We've been joined by Jim Brook. One of Mos's subscribers. Thank you, Jim. Welcome along. Thanks for joining us. Much appreciated. Mos would love more plant equipment if it was. Production equipment. Yeah.
Well, like we'll talk. Hobby Boss or one of the Chinese companies is releasing an archer's artillery or an archer artillery vehicle. And basically, all it is a Swedish or Finnish version. They got a Volvo articulated dump truck, the one with the 6 wheels and the cab sits on 2 wheels and turns. They grab one of them and put like a mortar on the back of it. And so it's a Volvo 30D. That's all it is. And I think if you could readjust that and put the tipper on the back, you could have an articulated A30D dumper. Go look at Volvo A30 or A35 or A40D, and basically it's an articulated dumper. They look like they look a bit futuristic, sort of thing you'll find on the moon, and they've made it into a machine that kills. But I was thinking of how they could release like just the tipper on the back and make it into a proper tipper. But there's everything's all 3D resin printed, I'm afraid, when it comes to plant machinery. It's very undervalued, but who knows? It may, somebody might come out with some good stuff. But yeah.
Do they have Rolls-Royce ever done an engine kit or an Airfix model based on a blowout of an engine? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Revel did one. I don't know if Airfix did, but
if you build the Airfix 124 scale Spitfire, you end up building the Merlin engine in 124 scale. Okay. I said that they could release that Merlin engine as a standalone unit. It looks great if you see it. But it's in 124th. I'm pretty sure they could blow it up to make it into a 112 version quite easily. But to my knowledge, the only ones I've ever seen is they did a four-stroke engine, didn't they? Airfix did, but it was motorized, so you could see the pistons go up and down, and they did a jet engine as well, didn't they? You could build it.
I did see on if you watch Facebook, you get promotional videos, and there was one on there for a V8 engine, and you got all brass parts to it. It was battery powered.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, all together.
Really did. Right, jumping back into chat. Great point there, Jim. I'd like to see some industrial equipment as well and plant equipment. Thanks for joining us. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It would be much appreciated. Our friend Mr. Hulley, I agree with you, Brian. The detail and quality of Vanguards and Oxford diecast are second to none. Shame they are made in China.
They're breaking. They're breakies, and you lose parts off them. That's the only problem. You can't get spares from Vanguard, especially.
Oxford are the reason why Ethics were in a lot of debt, and they've got rid of Oxford now. It's gone back. I don't know if you know this, but I've heard it being said that the actual owner of diecast, the Oxford diecast, is seriously ill.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
What's his name again? He's a Welsh guy, isn't he? He was the chairman or the CEO of Hornby for a long time. Can't remember what he's called. Is it Lindsay or something? I can't remember what he's called now. He was seriously ill with it. He went to a coma or something, and he's woken up and he's not well at all. So yeah.
Darren saying that'll be Sterling kits. They make amazing engines.
Yeah, Sterling do. Yeah, Sterling do some good. The Agostini did a Rolls Royce Merlin back in the day I think it was 112. But other than that, I don't think anyone's done an engine. I think the only one I've got which I've bought separately was the Ford engine. I've got a Ford Inglis engine, I think, which is from the back of a tank. But like I said, to be fair though, I think Rolls Royce is so underused. The name Rolls Royce. If you look at all the vehicles,
it should be a seller. It should be a British seller.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But if you think about it, look how many vehicles have a Rolls Royce engine in it.
Yeah.
Think about it. You've got the Spitfire, you've got the Mosquito, you've got the P51D, as I found out this week. Concorde had a Rolls Royce engine in it. A lot of the what's it called? The commercial jets have Rolls Royce engines in. Here you go. The Cromwell tank from World War II had a Rolls Royce engine in it. This Ferret Scout car had a Rolls Royce engine in it. The Vosper lifeboats back in the day, the RAF Vospers, all had Rolls Royce engines in them. And even the F-35 Lightning, even the 35B, even though it hasn't got a Rolls Royce engine, it's got the fan system to make vertical takeoff. It's Rolls Royce.
There you go. We've sat here
Lyndon
on
Davis.
a Saturday night, gave Airfix an idea for a new range of models based on Rolls Royce, and we'd like 5 tickets to go to their Duxford
release. Yeah.
So Darren saying that'll be the Sterling kits. They make amazing engines. Brian saying he is. I think he's agreeing with Moz saying that the guy's not well. David something. He thinks
Lyndon Davis is Welsh. Yeah.
I knew there was a Dave in there somewhere. Wow, it's good chat tonight, lads. Good chat tonight. Oh, you'll like this one, Moss. Question 5. What do you consider what tool or tools do you consider essential for model kit building? Let's take out of their brushes, because glue and painting and stuff like that. So the simplistic things, let's take them out of there. What's your go-to tool that you must have to do a model kit?
Well, there'll be three.
Hands, yeah.
There'll be three.
Good
Your
call.
eyes, your fingers, and an asshole. No, three. There's three tools. Would be obviously a set of clippers or snips to snip the plastic off the sprue gates of the sprues.
Yeah.
That's one.
You did a big piece on that as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did a huge piece on it. Yeah. Two, the sharpest bladed craft knife you get, and I mean that if you have a knife, and I've got a pattern where I basically change the blades. If I've got a knife on the desk, I will change that blade that day. Basically, I've got like a bit of a system. I've got seven of these in rotation. They go up here. I've got 7 of them. They're my favorite knives anyway. This one here, I buy the blades 500 at a time from Amazon Prime. I will always
500 blades.
500 blades at a time. Yeah, you buy.
Wow, okay.
I when I start a build, the first thing I do is change the blade.
Okay, well, give us just out of purely personal interest, give us a ballpark figure price and price for handle and etc.
You could pick these up quite cheap for model shows for around about £5. But the blades they give you are crap, right? The ones they give you, it's like the weird looking blades. And I think you could buy 500 from Amazon. If I look, going back onto the Amazon website a minute, Amazon, because I only bought them the other day. Here you go. I've got a box here of it.
Where would we be without Amazon?
There you go. I buy boxes like this, and I think there's about 100 in a box, and I buy 5 at a time. These are size 11s. These are number 11s.
Okay.
But they've got if you look at them, that's the edge that you want. They're I've gone past. People say, "I use Swan Morton." Yeah, use Swan Morton. You be my guest. Use them. I know people use Swan Morton.
Is that the one that's like a steel handle?
Yeah, it's surgical.
Yeah.
Swan Morton. Two things about that is that when I use a knife, this sounds really stupid, but when I use a knife, where my finger points is where the knife is aimed at. Now, when it's flat, all right, and steel, and you're doing a lot of cutting, etc., and you're skimming and what I call backcombing the plastic to get rid of some sort of embellishment or something. When it's flat, have I got one here? Hang on, have I got one here? I may have one here. I don't know. Let's have a quick look. Have I got one? No, I haven't got one. Sorry. I'll give an example using what can I use? I'll tell you what. I'll use one of these. I know it's a sanding stick, but bear with me. When you're using, this is my thought on it, right? When you're using a Swan Morton, the blades are like this, and the handle's flat, okay? Which is okay when you're in that position, but it's uncomfortable. And also, when you hold it like this and you've got a knife, you tend to be doing that. It doesn't fit nice in the hand because it's flat. Why I use a round one now is because my fingers go around it and it's secure in my hand.
Yeah, got you.
Not 1 point. Well, there's my whole hand's in contact with that handle. So when I'm peeling or scraping, my 4 fingers are covering that completely. If you've got a square one, you do that. It's not comfortable.
Flips.
Yeah. It's not. You've got too many angles to worry about, and you've only got like 1 point of contact. If your hand's like that, you've got 1 point of contact. But when you've got it wrapped around your fingers like that, you've got more secure, and they're rubber as well. Rubber won't slip like metal does. One instance.
Well, what I'm going to just to pick you up on that a little bit, Mos, is that both me and Luke do 3D printing.
Yeah.
And the more often than not, you need a really sharp knife to get away to remove the supports. Luke, I'm thinking of,
So
I'll pass it down.
yeah,
They're great for removing the support or where they've been.
All right.
they're good. They are. Yeah. So one of my worst ever buys is this pair of Citadel sprue cutters. Right. Firstly, they're completely metal. Okay. Secondly, the width of them is just too much. And when I try to pick them up, I've got to stretch my hand right out to get them in. And because they're metal, they're
It's turning
slippery.
your hands.
They're slippery. So when I'm doing this, and you know, it's just so my go-to clippers always have not a plastic sheath, has to be a rubber, but it has to be a coarse rubber like these. I get it. It's a so, and that there is they won't slip. They are, you know, you can feel that, and it's the same with these knives as well. These have got a nice rubber feel when they grip. So going back to steel, one, they're cold as well, and secondly, yeah, this was my worst. I think about 30 quid these were.
Well, I mean,
know.
I'm quite happy to put. I'm interested, Luke. I'm interested in them blades that you've got there for the.
I'll send you a link for them, mate.
Every time we have a chat, mate, you end up buying something.
Yeah, it cost me a fortune. Cost me a fortune. If it's a bit of an ongoing joke on our tavern on a Friday night, because we have a session like this, but it's a little bit. It's a lot more. Let's be fair. It's a lot more boisterous than what we are doing.
We have Jammo on there, so
it's quite structured tonight. We don't do it this well on a Friday night, but the idea is that we talk things out and new ideas spring to mind, new tools, new innovations.
Scotch
and you
Brite.
bet your bottom dollar by Saturday morning, Amazon are knocking on my door with a box, and I've got no idea because one, I'm pissed by about 1 o'clock Saturday morning, and I've ordered God knows what because the lads are saying, "You want to get one of these? Get one of them. You need a new air compressor."
Yeah.
Well, why don't you buy a 3D scanner as well and a printer? And I've lost 500 quid somewhere by Saturday morning. So, but the community, the reason that I love the community so much is that we come up with the guys come with some great ideas and new innovations and new tools. I've not seen them, Luke, them blades that you put up, and I didn't know that you could get them blades, Moz, in a pack of 500. So, by all means, chaps, please send me a link to both of those items, or in your case, Moz, the blades and the handle.
Yeah.
We'll put them in the description below for people to pick up if you don't mind. We'll do that.
So just going back to the question, I think my really good friend Darren Hall has just basically summed up the three things. He's called them God Hand, but you can get God Hand ones. But honestly, you know, you have to sell a kidney to get some of them. But good sprue cutters, good knife, and good sanding sticks are the three tools you need for modelling. And maybe some pads of Scotch Brite if I test it and see how it goes. Like, yeah.
I knew there was a David there somewhere. Brian saying sharp knives. Ian saying patience and dedication. Yeah, these are kind of why we got into it in the first place. Darren, God Hands sprue cutters. I'm glad that you went to that before I didn't, Moz, because I would have thought that was a spelling mistake, but I'd never heard of God Hand.
I got to say here that I need to review. They're still in their packet.
Okay.
These are creme de la creme, but I'm going back to being a natural scale modeler. I'm a traditionalist. Now, these God Hands, they reckon that you can cut right up to the part and the sprue gate and just leave it flush. I don't recommend that. I'm the kind of guy that will cut as close to that part off the sprue gate and then sand it up to finish it off.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
the amount of times these ones here will cut flush, right? But how many times have I tried to cut flush and end up digging into the part?
It's better to stand down. It's better to
God Hands are really good if you were doing, say, you've got a really thin piece of part, like a part which is, you know, something. If I've got So where is it to? Is it this one here? So say you've got that part there, for instance, that barrel, okay? If that was thinner, or say that piece there, that's a thin, really thin. God hands would be good on that because you try and sand that very thin piece of sprue there, like, you know, you're better off cutting that as close as you can and leaving it really. And God hands would be good for that. But anything big like this, I would just cut it, leave a nib, and then sand off the rest so it's flush. Sanding off to a flush is a lot better than doing that. So yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna nip back into the chat. I'm so sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, Darren. Thank you to all for your input. This is turned out so well tonight, as I'm really pleased. Moz, what's the best model of this year from Airfix?
I can't tell you yet because they've not been released.
Have you got
last year's were? Tell you what last year's were.
No, you can't cop out. I don't like that. When are you meeting up with your mate from Airfix this year?
I'm going to meet him 2 or 3 times this year.
Right.
I will say that I think the Jaguar, looking at what I've seen so far of the Jaguar, is going to be kit of the year. But like last year, Liberator was a cracking kit. That was released, by the way. The Liberator's been released. I thought the Chinook was a cracking kit released last year as well. I built that. That was a lovely kit to build.
Sorry, let me just interrupt you for a sec. The Liberator, what Liberator are we talking about?
The consolidated Liberator that they released.
We're not talking about the sci-fi Liberator, are we?
No.
No, that'd be
fine. You can put your cock back in your pants now.
Yeah, no.
You know, hey, they did a Batmobile. That'll be it.
I know a boy who's doing one of them, so don't worry about that. I've got that.
I think I also, I looked at the original tool, the first print off or the first test piece of the SLS Artemis. The way the bases work, because basically the base is already printed for, already made for you out of plastic, and they've got these domes. So the rocket, the SLS Artemis, the rocket just fits on the domes. It doesn't fall. It's a very clever design. That really well thought out. The Stonewall, that's more exciting for us who like a little bit of armored vehicle, because that chassis was used for so many, at least 4. The chassis was used on 4 vehicles: Salamander, the Saladin, the Stalwart, and there's another one that they used it on as well. So there's options there for Airfix to release 4 different vehicles from the chassis of that one tool. Imagine that, that's exciting. But unless I try not to judge the kits until they come. For instance, the Spitfire 124 scale Mark 8 and 9 that they brought out at the beginning of the year, they announced it. Halfway through the year, they brought out that 148 Anson. Well, that should have been kit of the year, but because the Spitfire had a delay on it, it kind of knocked the Anson out of the spotlight.
I think you need to have a word with the powers that be, and get our friend Mr. Dare a box of the new Jag. And
the Seppi Cat Jaguar. You fancy that? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let him
leave it with me, mate. Leave it with me.
See how you look after each other. There you go. Jomo saying Citadel did a paint and tool set with those type of clippers far better than their individual offering.
Yeah, I don't know. I
always
think
find
it's overpriced because it's Warhammer, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I mean, JMO knows that when I do my 3D models, I love the Citadel paints, love them to bits, but their tools,
yeah,
they sting
a bit.
Good, don't get me wrong, but they are a little bit pricey.
And the quality isn't there either. I don't rate their brushes. I don't rate their brushes at all.
I have to be honest. If I get the rate that I get through brushes with painting with 3D printing painting, you might as well end up going down the range and get something equivalent.
Get a if it was you, mate, get a roller.
Get a roller, or a spray gun.
I'll get one of those paint pads. That's what you
Oh,
want.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get a big wheel on it. See the drop.
Get a paint pad on you, just bring it on the wheel and then just
Yeah, it's got foam on the side. It's got spark together. It's great.
yeah,
Them
right, yeah.
Well, you know, I could just send them up to fucking Luke and I'm done with it. You know what I mean?
I'm intrigued by the Scotch
Good stuff. Sorry, Paul said,
what's your
has
next
anyone tried
question
the
anyway?
mini
PJ?
sander for models, like a small toothbrush with mini sanding pads?
I've got
Yeah.
one here. It's called a Display. I've got one here, mate. I like it. It's a good bit of kit. It's pricey.
You got one to show? Mark?
Yeah, this is it here, basically. This is the Display. It's on charge at the minute. But basically, you get this thing called by Display. And somewhere here, I've got the case for it. There's the case.
It's going to cost me money. This is. I can see it now.
Yeah, you'll be skinning in the morning, mate.
Every time we get on the chat,
I know.
It comes with.
Anybody want to buy an oven for overcooking the models? By the way, I've got one spare in the back.
It comes with all different shapes, sizes of attachments, but it also comes with the pads with different grades on it, so you can see that because you look up close. All these are all shaped for the different heads that you use. Okay, and they stick on the implements that you use. So if you're going to use this one here, which is a right-angled one, they've got a pad that fits in there, and then you kind of fit this on your tool. Press the button, and it vibrates forward and back, and the more you press it, the more powerful it is. So you press it again, so and then if you hold and press, it keeps it at speed all the time.
Right.
You hold and press now.
How much is this going to cost me?
These are about 140 quid.
You're joking.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I just want to see your face.
You better, my boy.
I think I paid about $49.99 for mine.
Yeah.
But the beauty is that the technique with the Display is let the pad do the work. People get it and they push hard and it will stop it. Because what it's doing is going up and down like this. It's a good action. Us men do this all the time, but having it in a machine, it all goes forward and back.
Don't do that. Don't do that live on. No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the Display comes in a case, lovely case. Comes with a good selection of different grits, different grades of paper. Just sticks on there, and it also comes with the stickers as well, where you can actually write on, where you're using a coarse, a medium, heavy, or sand. But
talking about Facebook video advertisements, there's a tool that's very similar to that, and it's almost like, and the reason that the guy is using it is cutting sprue, and it's almost like a vibrating knife to cut through sprues.
But why? The question you're going to ask yourself.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
When you see all this new fandangled stuff, the two questions I ask myself is, how will that change what I'm doing now? How will it change it for the better? So, and 9 times out of 10, I find that why would you ever need to cut sprue unless you're modifying the kit? Surely it's the case you're just clicking it, one little click. On it, I don't buy it really. I don't, unless you're doing really heavy cutting out wings and stuff like that. I don't think you need it. But I have seen it. So this is the Display sander.
Written down. What was the other one? The one that was on earlier or something? Bloody hell. Just get the checkbook out.
Jim Brooks got a good question. That good comment.
Let's have a look.
Jim Brooks.
Has anybody tried the mini? Yeah, we tried that. Been using God hands for years, says hobby time, best of the best. Okay, last year B24 repeated a couple of times there.
Yeah, B24 Consolidated Liberator. Yeah.
Academies Jamie saying Academy's Liberator is still good.
It's not, mate. It's not.
Okay,
Move on.
we're arguing the toss. Brian saying, is that the Corgi Bulldog Bomber 124th Liberator?
Move on.
You talked about the Liberator earlier on.
The Corgi Bulldog is the one that Airfix have released in 148 scale. Was it 172 scale?
Okay.
1 to 22 consolidated.
We'll let him go. We'll let him go off on one. Hobby time. The Salamander recovery vehicle is good. We're going to have to defer to Moz on these because we don't build plastic kits. To be honest, all the Airfix range is great these days. That's a fair comment. The work does great quality and cheap brush sets. Oh, sorry, the works. Sorry, Jamie. The works does great quality and cheap brush sets. Yeah, it does. Can't argue with that. It's throwaway money. Even if you bought a set of brushes just to do one model, cost you a couple of quid. Jim saying, agree with Moz. Currently building the Chinook. It's really great. When I've got the extra pennies, I'll be getting the Liberator.
Tell you what, mate. If you give me an email, I may have one extra here in the stash. I'll have a look for it. If you want it, mate, I'll send you a Liberator.
I'm not saying this because I know him. I'm saying it because I've proof of the pudding's in the eating. He is very generous with his support of people that do model making. He sent me kits before, and we've also.
Yeah, you said you're going to pay for them, but you never did.
I did. Well, that's because they went on to somebody else. I think the models that you sent to me, Luke's lad's got now.
I made a rule when I started off the channel that if there's anything I got given for free, I wouldn't sell. I would pass it on to other scale modelers who need it. And to be honest with you, the generosity of scale modeling is all part of the community, and I think the diecast is very much in that realm as well. It's very rarely I get a hateful comment about scale modeling. It's just like a dig at me as a person. I had one this week actually. I put it on my Mos Models Facebook page. You guys said you're just bragging about the fact you spent 300 quid with my pre-order from Airfix on the Range Rover, £300, and I mentioned it that I spent.
In that instance, you can't win. You can't win. Because
he called me a tosser, and I repeated back, and I said, look, I'm call it what you like. I said, I work hard with my 3 businesses, and if I want to spend my money on model kits that's going to go over the year at £300, because I'm not playing golf in it, because I would have spent that on a round and a weekend away playing golf. I did right underneath because he said that most of us won't. Yeah.
I mean, Martin has always said that I'm not going to speak for Martin. Well, I am to a certain extent. He said he's never going to monetize his channel, which is fair comment. You know, it's his choice. Like, but
I got an argument
if you do monetize your channel and then invest and go and buy something like a trumpeter kit, somebody's always going to be looking, how do you build that kit? Well, somebody's going to be able to buy it in the first place, to create a video to do it, to show to other people. So if you're getting, financial aid for your channel, that's what you invested in. If you don't invest when you're getting that monetary aid, that's when you get found out. That's the my take on it.
I'm just going to say about this not monetizing your channel. YouTube 3 years ago decided that they were going to put adverts on every video. So no matter what you put out there, they will put adverts on it. So if you're not subscribed to getting some sort of revenue from those adverts, YouTube are getting it. So why won't you sign into being advertised and everything on your channel? Because instead of YouTube getting it all, you're going to get 55% of it.
Yeah, I completely understand. I mean, at the end of the day, it's each to their own.
I get
how
that.
you approach it.
But why give YouTube all that money
Yeah.
when actually it's yours because you put the time and effort and energy into getting those videos?
Well, I mean, they're getting money for free eventually.
They're getting money. They're getting the 400% then.
Yeah.
At least you're getting 55% of it. Because with this, I kind of thought like that when I first started. But then also when you actually think about how much I spend on my channel, you know, if I can't think of a decent thumbnail, I get somebody to make me one. And that will cost me £7 to get one of them made. The badges, the stickers, everything that I have for the channel that I give away for free all costs money. But it's not, and to be fair, all this does is subsidize the monies I spent on just the channel. All the kits and everything still come out of my own pocket, but I choose to spend that money.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier on.
Yeah.
We're going off topic to a certain extent, but you know, you're licensing for Restream, you're licensing for Teams, you're licensing for the software that you use to manipulate photos, graphic design, that kind of stuff. It all comes out of somebody's pocket at the end of the day. So you know, any age you can get towards it.
Anyway, you want to go for these questions? Do you want to go for these questions? Because we've got a few left, haven't we?
Well, forget that for a minute. We're keeping up the chat's one thing.
Yeah.
The works does quality brushes. Yeah, they do, Jeremy. Jim saying, agree with Moz. Currently building the Chinook. It is really great. When I get extra pennies, I'll be getting the Liberator. Jeremy saying, I'm a bit spazzy, but shake it like a dog pooing bones. Anyway, I'll be time. The Sonic Saber 172. You know anything about the Sonic Saber? Moz?
I know. I'm confused.
Okay. Sorry, I meant the Sonic Saber. Oh, sorry, I meant 172. The Liberator is B24. Vinyl stickers, JP. Me and Mr. Dre have got to talk about PJ and JP. Agreed, Moz is very generous. He is to a fault. But then again, so is Mr. Sampson. So is Mr. Laszlo Collectibles. Our community. It's the only community I've never found a community like it that's been so generous with parts, decals, you name it. We share.
Tony Hughes is a legend. If you want anything like that, he's an absolute legend, isn't he? Bless him.
Yeah. And I think sometimes it's because people have found something they can do that they can share with other people. So it may be like our good friend Andy Bourne, who does decals. He enjoys doing it.
Yeah.
And it's not always a financial gain. It's I'll send you some decals if you send me a model of blah 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 blah. You know,
I get that.
So we've got a bit of a Noel Edmonds swap shop going on Facebook.
Just got to say, on the flip side of all this, you know, when I'm saying that I class when I get involved with people like this with scale modeling, it's kind of like me buddies, even though we're not like friends, you know, in real life, as in like we go down the pub and chat. You know, I give the respect I give to people like yourselves. If I do like a live show like this and I'm talking to my channel members and stuff, I treat them as friends and are people that or acquaintances that I would meet in the pub.
Yeah.
So, you know, and the amount of times when, you know, there's always something to give. And I've always found that, and I found this myself in my channel, is that when I'm paying it forwards by support, the reason FX and Chill started was to support lower subbed channels to gain more subscribers.
Yeah.
Now, I always said that I paid it forward because we had like 6 or 7 blokes including Ms. Modeler, you know, a woman, talk about scale modeling on FX and Chill. Their subscribers grew, but I found that my subscribers grew as well because they were getting subscribed, and those on that channel who were being subscribed were then subscribing to me as well because we were all becoming linked. So if you weren't going to follow just Moz Models, you're going to follow Man's Model Moments, you know, except going through the list of people that are on that channel. We grew as a whole, and I think that's what happened with Diecast. I think you're just under the radar. Where scale modeling has been around for years and years and years, restoration of diecast really hasn't in the grand scheme of things, if you know what I mean.
We can take it, but I mean, my view is it's exploded under the COVID period because people were looking for something to do.
Okay.
I don't know about Martin. When did you first get started?
About a year before, I think,
Yeah.
COVID, or a bit before then. Yeah, yeah.
So we all found each other off the back of each other, really. And to be fair, apart from Laz, because he's the European, we've all met up in real life. So
We have done, yeah.
yeah. So I was blown away by we either go to a toy fair local to the bulk of us are in the Midlands or just outside the Midlands. So Martin's in the Peterborough area, Luke's in the Chester area, I'm in the Derbyshire area. I wish my personal bucket list is Luke Laz comes over here at some point and we can have a get up. We can all meet up. Laz, we met at Doncaster, I think it was. We met at Doncaster.
That's 50 quid. Yeah, it was.
Les Mars.
Was it like a football stadium or something?
Yeah.
It was
Race course, isn't it?
Race course, sorry, yeah. If I came away there with a few kids from Lee Jackson and everything, like,
the Toy Collectors Fair is big on Airfix kits, paints, brushes, you name it. I think you would like. You'd also like the Dagfields that we go to, which is a auction site. So imagine 12 big auction buildings all on. I don't know if it's 12. It might be more or less. Luke introduced us to it. And basically what you've got is everything from army gear to commando comics to toys to you name it. It's all there. And we have a great day out. I'm looking forward to that again when we go in April. We're doing the NEC and then we're doing Dagfields. So we've started to go out as well. Darren saying I'm originally from Derbyshire. Whereabouts in Derbyshire? Where are you from?
Don't start him off.
Here we go.
Get me started, but I'm in Swaddling Coast.
What was the next question, PJ? Anyway,
Come
oh,
on.
hang on a minute.
It's toast time. I'm losing toast time, man.
These are all your subscribers.
It's 12 minutes in.
It's not far from Derby.
Next question, PJ.
Say again. Sorry.
Next question.
Where do we go? Let me just go back to Brian. Brian is saying vinyl stickers, PJ. I don't know what. I can't remember, Brian. I've had a few whiskeys since last night, but we were talking about various materials, Mos, and decals and stuff like that. Do you have any use for vinyl stickers? Have you made vinyl stickers? Do you know anybody who can make vinyl stickers?
I wouldn't use vinyl stickers on model kits anyway. I think they look atrocious.
No, it might not have been for that. It might have been for a specific reason.
I was saying,
Brian,
I get vinyl stickers made, Mos model stickers. I get them made.
Yes, that might have been it. Sorry, it was it. We were talking. You know the vinyl sticker that you sent out to me.
Yeah.
Right. Did you have? Sorry, Brian. It all comes flooding back in a haze. Who makes your Mos models?
I was going to say,
so you don't do them yourself. You have them made by third.
I get them made by a professional company because that's why,
right, okay.
And that's why they're matte finished. Because I noticed that when you give a scale modeler a sticker and he puts it on his
oh my
board,
God, sorry, hold the fucking phone.
Hang on,
and I don't mean to swear. Hobby time is just down the road.
Yeah,
right?
I could have told you that. He's in Swannecote, isn't he, or somewhere?
By Pingle School.
Yeah. I sent him stuff. He's had a few bits off me in the past.
My mum lives just not far from Pingle's. I've wet myself now. I've got a tear to my eye, like, you know what I mean? I'm having a man moment. We'll meet up. We'll meet up. Come with us to Stafford. We're going to Stafford, and oh my God,
You got a new subscriber there, PJ, and probably
new subscriber, new friend. I've got a
new
friend.
friend. What's the next question anyway?
What was the question? So, Moz, who makes your vinyl stickers? I'm asking on behalf of
I
Brian.
use a company called Diginate, and they are high quality stickers. They're not. I didn't go for cheap. I got samples from companies, and I wanted a matte finish because I noticed that when people put them on their workbenches, the light reflects, so you can't see what's on the sticker, and they do a specific matte finish. It's fantastic. Okay, so
the double-edged sword question, really. Are they sticky on the inside or so if I were to put them on the back of my car, would I need to put them on the outside or the inside?
The outside, but you could buy them so they go on the inside. Remember, when you put them on the inside, when it's on the inside of a thing, they're not sticky, they're just vinyl. They don't put a stick on them, you see. The idea is that they stick naturally to the glass.
Right.
They're not sticky.
So the test is, Moz has sent me a sticker.
Mm.
And I'm going to put it in my very advanced Vauxhall Zafira on the outside.
Please don't. I'll be embarrassed to see a sticker on a Vauxhall Zafira. Especially in Monaco.
It's a bit harsh.
It's a bit harsh, but don't put on a Zafira, crumbs. Maybe send a Porsche or something. Or
I don't know the bloke. I've never met him, and I wouldn't admit to it if I did.
Put it on wherever you want, mate. I think on the outside.
We'll give it the 30-day test. He sent me a label.
Why don't you give it a bit of a coat of Scotch Brite?
I'm going to pipe it down with a Scotch Brite first.
Yeah. What's the next question on your group of 10 anyway?
I have no idea. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Sonic's Sonic Saber.
The Sonic Saber knife. That one that vibrates up and down is the Sonic Saber knife.
So that's the one on Facebook that I was talking about.
I think Martin went for a toast.
We've lost 2 already. This is the Moz effect.
That's harsh.
But true.
Yeah.
Jimmy's saying that comment about Moz really pissed me off. The guy has a model making channel. How is he going to make videos with kits?
Yeah, it was a harsh comment by a fellow YouTuber. What he basically turned around and what he said, which I thought was a bit harsh at the time, because I did this video about my pre-orders from FX. I mentioned that I spent 300 quid on the pre-order, and his comment on my channel was £300, eh? Most of us don't and won't ever have funds for that amount. Flaunting it makes you look like a complete tosser, which you are. So my response was, it's my hobby. I spend on it what I want. I work hard running my businesses. If you need some kits to help you with your hobby, send me your address and I'll send you some kits. If he's that worried, but I work hard. I've got 3 businesses. I'm in business with somebody else, and we work extremely hard selling vintage vinyl antiques around the world. That's my business.
I don't approve of that at all. I've known him for 4 or 5 years now. Always been good to me. Always been a good friend.
Yeah,
I can phone him. I can not phone him. I'll contact him and say, "Are you free?" At the drop of that, he said, "Give me 5-10 minutes."
Yeah,
like most of the boys do on here. We'll have a chat offline any time of the week.
Yeah.
No, I can't fault the generosity. Same with Luke. Same with Laz. Same with Martin.
What was the next question anyway on your
next question
list, on your list of questions?
Forgot. What type of models do you prefer building straight out of the box or customizing your kits?
Building out the box.
Right, stop. Next one then. Let's get through the next one. What's the most challenging model you've ever worked on?
Oh, dear me. Crumbs. Most challenging model I've ever built.
Airfix Aston Martin.
I was going to say it was a car. I think it was.
James Bond DB5.
No, I tell you, what was it? What was the most challenging? I think it was the Airwolf. I built an Airwolf 10 years ago. That was hard work. It was crap kit. Came with I've got another one here somewhere, actually. I've got another Airfix, and an Airwolf here somewhere. But I think that was the most challenging kit I've ever built. Also, I'll tell you another one which was a challenge was a mini art tank. I would never build another mini art kit again.
Right, you're going to choose one. So moving on.
Yeah.
What's your best tip for avoiding? Oh, that's a good one. What's the best tip for avoiding glue marks or excess glue?
Oh, right.
Ooh.
So always wear gloves when you're using when you're building. So like grease off your fingers on plastic's not a good thing. So always wear blue gloves if you can. Obviously, if it's like a really fiddly part and I can't really use tweezers, I'll take the gloves off. But 9 times out of 10, if you get glue on the glove, you tend to when that touches the plastic, it seems to leave like a smooth finish. Whereas your finger, when it touches, it will leave a fingerprint, which is a nightmare. Excess glue is being in control of your Tamiya Extra Thin at all times. You know what's difficult in
it is good that
Tamiya Extra Thin scissors your glue.
Yeah.
When you take it out, touch your side. Get rid of that bubble. That if you take it out, you'll get a bubble of cement. But if you touch your side, it just takes that bubble off, and you're then controlling. Also, dipping's good. You know, like using you see you got that bubble on the end there. You just touch your side, it gets
it's like
that
a
bubble.
welding rod. That is.
Yeah. So another thing is that I'm not one of these people who, when they're doing a wing, you want to join it up. I'm not one of these people who then go along it with the brush. I tend to tilt the part, just tap it, and let the capillary action of the glue go into the joints. That's another way of doing it. If you do get
quick tip, if you do 3D printing,
let it dry. Don't touch it. Just let it dry. It'll kind of sort itself out.
If you do 3D printing and you break a piece off your 3D model, that stuff is brilliant for doing repairs as well.
What is that?
That's the Tamiya Extra Thin glue.
Yeah.
Rattling on. What's the skill you're currently working on to improve your builds, or are you?
I feel that my skills are pretty much up there with the best of them.
Oh, you snob.
What I find is that when you become a scale modeler, you do become a jack of all trades and a master of none.
You do.
Weathering, I'm pretty good at weathering, but I wouldn't say I was any good at scratch building. I'm quite impatient with scratch building. If I have to like make a part up or something, I really struggle with that. I'm average at it, but then again, when I see weathering of other guys, I think I'm average at weathering. But we're actually building up models and following the instruction of it. I'm as good as the next man. But at the end of the day, the plastic's only bare bones. It's what you put the flesh on with all the paints and all the weathering is what makes it.
It's actually a good question to throw out to everybody. Marty, what did classes you? Probably you've been going at this longer than most of us. What's your weakest part? Do you think in when you're doing restoration? What are you trying to improve on? Is there a weak part to your game that you think I wish I could do this better?
Yeah, I would probably say the overall painting of it, really, at the end of the day. Yeah. I mean, you're always trying to get that nice sweet spot on your finish. You know, not necessarily overly shiny. It's just getting that nice happy medium between rough and fine, if you know. There's that sweet spot in the middle where it's not over the top glossy. It's not matty. It's just you got that right, nice, realistic
Yeah.
type of finish. You know, that's what I like to see. I like to do.
Laz, is there something you struggle with or something you wish you
I
had?
haven't got any weaknesses. Thank you. Next, please.
It's just perfect, isn't it, mate? Yours.
Says the man who can't seem to get a decent haircut, but he's got plenty around his chin. Upside down head man, isn't it?
Wow, harsh, that's a bit harsh. A bit harsh.
I think
Luke,
mine is
Luke, if you say fucking painting, you're out of here. So
Mine's glue. Every time I use glue, I end up getting covered in it. I don't know why.
I think mine is the feeling. Mine is the feeling to make a surface like what Luke does, not with the painting, with the preparation work. That's, I think, my weakness. To fill in up a hole to make it look good.
Just keep watching me videos, Laz.
Yeah, that's what I do. But you always have a new channel, so I don't know which one to watch.
Ooh.
there is a bit of competition going on here. I think Laz might be going out on a trip across Australia to find himself coming back. You know what I mean? You know, where you go out with the Aborigines to learn how to paint again. I don't know what's going on there, but he's a bit yeah. He's to be fair, Laz has shown me some models this afternoon and they're superb. So it's all good fun. But that 18 van.
Yeah, that's nice.
That 18 van.
Disgustingly shiny. That is.
It is a beautiful piece of equipment. That thing is.
I mean, I watched all Luke's videos. So, you know.
Yeah, he's got 6 or 7.
You bloody creep.
He's done well.
I think we're going to nail the questions on the ad there.
Most, you mean?
Before we
60 quid now. I would have another disc-based sander at this rate, wouldn't I?
You know
no, that tenor is mine.
the time has flown by. I thought we'd struggle to do 2 hours. We're already at 2.5 hours. So thank you for doing that with us. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to us all. That you.
Well, I hope that you will gain some more subscribers. I'll put some community posts out about this tonight.
I found one of your subscribers is down the fucking road. So you know
looking for the curtains now, isn't he? Yeah. Don't tell him where you live, because PJ will be there looking for the curtains.
To those of your subscribers that are local to me, we do trips out to a place called Stafford. If you live in, I mean, there's one of the guys said he's down by Pingle School, so he'll know where Stafford is. We go out there. We have a toy collectors fair where we go and drool over stuff that we wanted as kids. It's a fantastic day out. There's about 8 of us from between 5 and 8 of us from the community that go. And we meet up, we have a sandwich, we go around the toy fair. We're also going to meet up with Luke again, who recommended Dagfield's auction site, where they've got a fantastic toy shop where you can get Action Men and $6 million Man and $6 million Man and Action Men toys like that from when we were kids. Please come and join us on the Facebook, the Diecasting Models Community Facebook channel. Please answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, you'll get rejected. So please answer the questions. I just want to rip through the rest of this comments. Sonic Saber Knife, vinyl stickers question to Moz. Talked about that. Pick me up on, if you want to join us, Brian. If you want to come online for a minute, come and join us. I'll be told I'm not from Derby. I'm originally from Downtown. I'm originally from Derbyshire. We got down to that. Obby Tom's next to Pingle School. My mum lives at the bottom of Plummer Road. Obby Tom. Ask Moz if he knows Darren's in Ilkeston. He's just around the corner. That's it. I escaped to Norfolk though. Oh, he's not in Augusta anymore. He's moved. That's a bit further south, Norfolk. Can I love this. Hobby time. Cannabis Court Up Road. Yes, that's about right. That is.
Dear me.
You can just wind your window down on your way up. Yeah, it's lovely here. Thing is, you then have to drive past me and forget where I was going in the first place.
Like you are on this chat.
Brian saying several the going back to the vinyl stickers. Sorry, floating about. We had a discussion last night, Mos. Several of the taverners want to be able to stick car stickers on the back of their windscreens for other channels to support them.
Like what Lee did with my stickers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to get around to. And we looked at pin badges and stuff like get one of them machine that makes buttons and pins and stuff like that.
There's a really good company that I use that does pin badges. Actually,
let's a discussion to be had later then.
My local, I did it as a bit of a gift really for Christmas. So I'm with the Iska Scale Model Club, and I got these little pin badges made for them. Come on, zoom in, bloody camera.
Yeah, got it. It looks like a Roman's helmet.
Yeah, it's Iska. Yeah, because it's a German.
Yeah.
Come on, zoom. Oh, why wouldn't it zoom in? Anyway, but the pin badges on the back. But I think 90 were about 130 quid.
I'd like to do a challenge where, and this has happened. This has happened based on real life, on a real life story. I'd like to go to Stafford, put it out into the community that we're going. Anybody that raises it, that recognises Martin Dare's voice, gets a pin badge.
Just a sticker would suffice.
Free of charge.
You get at the dentist. That's what you need.
I'm telling you, it's happened 3 times now. All he's done is said, I'd like to buy that vehicle or show me that one there. And somebody's gone, you're Martin Dare, aren't you? Spooky. And I've been there. I've witnessed it. We stood together and we had the same chat with somebody, and the bloke said to Martin, "Oh, I'll give you some cars free." Totally fucking ignored me, the bastard.
That's because he didn't have any Batmobiles there.
No Batmobiles. It wasn't a Jerry Anderson site. Yeah, send me all your Jerry Anderson stuff, by the way, if you're up for it. Right.
It'll send you a link. Search your diecast. It'll send you a link.
Has Mos heard of more monochrome? There's a lot of M's in that, Michael.
Monogram.
Has Mos heard of more monochrome?
Yeah, the pens.
The pens, Michael.
Yeah.
The one he's doing now. I'll pop around. Anything Mr. Craft? Yes, Darren.
Yeah, anything Mr. Craft, don't bother building.
It's all gone.
You could. The thing about Mr. Craft is that you could basically scrub that with as much Scott Bright as you like, and it will still look shit. It's terrible. It's awful kits. In fact, when I was doing my research on rare Airfix kits, there was one tool and I thought, oh, that'd be rare. And it isn't. It's now boxed by Mr. Craft. That's how poor they are. They buy tooling that's 30, 40, 50 years old and rebox it as new. Bastards.
Right. One report. So let me just go back. Some of the text is not making sense.
That's why you walk by them then, mate. You're wasting time now if you don't understand it.
I will pop around and super glue the sticker on. As more model, the one that he's doing now.
Yeah.
Anything Mr. Craft? Yeah, it's all gone bitchy. Great chat. Jim said, great chat tonight, guys.
Cheers, Jim. Appreciate
that. Much appreciated.
Please subscribe to the DMC. It's not just diecast, it's modelers as well.
Please No, it's Diecast and Modelers Community.
But the trouble is, DMC sounds better than DMSC. That's the problem, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
DSMC, isn't it?
It's got to have a bit of zip and zing to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My good friend and mentor, Mr. Dare, does everything from diecast to wooden models,
Yes.
to plastic models, to Lego models, to the Temu models that you can see on the shelf behind him. These are
This
all
bad boy here.
yeah. Look at that. These are all. We encourage all kinds of modelling. It's a modelers community, not just diecast. And
What
it's
about
somewhere.
topless modelling?
Go on, Luke.
What about topless modelling?
Topless
No,
modelling.
no.
Well, Pete, Jamo does that most nights, but he has had to
Wow,
do
yeah.
that.
Join the tavern on a Friday night if you want to see topless modelling. Wow. That's just turned everybody off. Thanks for that, Luke.
He just popped in my head there.
Yeah, it's that time of night, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is that time of night. Yeah, it's 25 to 11.
And you now, I'll be telling you now, PJ, go there twice a year to the motorbike shows. Okay. Come and join us, I'll be time on the DMC. Get to know us. Martin, the way that we do this when we go to Stafford is Martin will come up from Peterborough. He'll stay at my place, and then we'll go a ride over to Stafford. If there's anybody else wants to come with us from the local area, more than willing to join us. The more the merrier. Mr. Ian Ulley, my friend, our good friend Mr. Ian Ulley, is in the Alfreton area. So, big Derbyshire commitment here. We're coming back.
I think that's a YouTube thing. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the scale modelers I first was talking to on YouTube were down in the south. Yeah. I think I just fell on your channel one day, PJ, and enjoyed it. So that's how I come to be on yours, because I was watching a lot of.
Well, ditto. Kev saying, evening, Kev. Kev saying you need to come down. Well, when the day comes, and the boys will get sick of hearing this, but when we get our motorhome, our DMC motorhome, we'll be travelling around the country. I put my lottery ticket on tonight, so we're going to get a big motorhome and we're going to travel around the country. I would, what's that? Brian saying I would, PJ, but can't see how to join. You've already joined. What you said? Don't confuse me.
No, join in here. Join in the chat tonight. After.
Oh, sorry.
I told him he'll send you a link.
I'll send you a link, Brian. Bear with me. Sorry.
That's why I need to go for because I need to go in a minute. Not for you, but I just.
That's all right. But I think Brian might want to ask you a question. Yeah. So just hold fire for a second.
I'm not going anywhere. I just got to go and put the chickens away in a minute. That's all. Is that past 10? You see?
Go and put the chickens away.
We haven't finished the live show yet. I'm going to do it after the live show.
That's not a reason I've ever heard before why somebody wants to leave the chat.
Yeah, you can tell me you were having KFC.
I've had that already. No. Yeah, I got a bargain, like, 3 quid, 4 quid.
Gotta put the cheese. Brian, let me find you. Sorry, mate. Brian Drew.
Yeah, I won't be talking much longer.
Yeah.
Right, let's
It's been a long chat. It's been a long chat today.
It was 1 o'clock gone last night.
It was a good chat.
This is live.
I sent you a link, Brian. There's I don't know. I know not everybody's a fan of the NFL, but there's a guy who's a Green Bay Packer fan. Right. This is more to do with subscriptions. But what he's doing, he wants to get 1 million He wants to either raise $1 million or get 1 million subscribers. And he's at 817,000 subscribers at the moment. And he's gone live with like a marathon. He's up to 4 days now live online on YouTube to try and either raise subscriptions or raise money, and the money's going towards the American Air Force kids, where the dads and mums have been into a lot of lives and that kind of thing, which is awesome. So I have some. I have some Thunderbird. I might have a little man moment here. I have some Thunderbird model kits for sale.
I've got the Fab one if you want it.
They're the Hasakawa ones.
No,
They're the Hasakawa
AIP. AIP.
Mr. Brian from.
I want to start my chickens, but you're going to end the chat, or
If you lads, if you want to shoot, by all means go.
No shoot, I just got to go sort the chickens out. That's all.
You've got to sort your chickens out, mate. Put yourself on mute.
Just go live on YouTube. You see, that's all.
I'm getting some feedback all of a sudden. I don't know why.
I think that's Brian.
I think it's Brian Telly playing in the background. Yeah, that's not it. Go and sort your chickens out, Les, if you haven't.
That's 70 quid now.
I don't think I've ever said that before on a live chat.
I'm going. I need to go, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
So
lads.
it's been a pleasure.
right.
It's been a pleasure. I don't know how
That's
to
all
switch
right,
off the
mate.
thing.
If the guys need to go, the guys need to go. We're just keeping this rolling. It's been a good night tonight, so we'll keep it going as long as we can. Have a good weekend,
Yeah,
lads.
and you
See
guys
soon.
take care. I'll see you next Friday.
Take it easy,
or
lads.
something like
Ciao,
that.
mate.
Yeah, buddy.
Bye, guys. If I can switch off, can you switch me off, PJ? Can you?
No,
No.
you're stuck here for life, mate.
Do I?
Once we've got you, we've got you.
I think I will. Yeah. Leave. So bye, guys. Take care.
Take care. Bye. He's still here. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Bless him. Been a good night tonight.
Finish the longest one we've had.
I knew it was going to be because Moz has got he's a depth of information. And there's a lot of people wanting to know Brian is backstage. Let me see. Let me just sort Brian out. Sorry, buddy.
No worries. For some reason, I opened two windows. That's why it was feeding back.
I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, Brian, but Moz has just gone outside to sort out his chickens.
I did hear him say it, yeah.
That's not
the trouble is
I
with the
thought
chat,
ever-
because you were behind with the chat, I was trying to remind you that obviously all those taverners wanted to know about vinyl stickers because he had them done. Didn't know whether he could help us out or point us in the right direction.
Several whiskies later, mate, it's just kind of zinged in. For those that don't know, and we've got a few of, and we're very grateful. Thank you to the guys that have joined us from Moz's channel. Our friend Brian here does a lot of printing. Always been practicing and learning how to do boxes for die-cast models. So he's got himself. He's found an ideal laser printer, and there's an example of the Batmobile box, a reproduction. And we were thinking about how we could possibly market the DMC, and one of the ideas was to make some car stickers. So this is where it comes down to the vinyl stickers and that kind of thing. So we'll just wait for the rooster to obviously get itself sorted out, and he'll be back in any moment.
Well, I'm gonna have to shoot off anyway because it's getting on a bit now. So
that's all right, Mark. Have a good weekend, buddy.
All right. Okay, we'll see you all, guys.
Thanks
very much.
All
right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's get out of here.
Three buttons, mate.
Three
buttons, mate. Yeah.
3 buttons.
3
He's
buttons.
off to polish his 18 ban.
Yeah.
He's just going to sit and look at it. It's real quick. Oh my, really? Thank you for everyone joining us tonight. Absolutely, lads. Completely agree with it. It's been a fantastic night tonight.
Did you do your rundown of the Facebook stuff?
Mate, we haven't even got that far yet.
Oh, bloody hell, okay.
It's been... what I did was to go on to ChatAGP and do 20 questions that I could ask a Airfix modeler. we did 5.
It's really
Well,
interesting
we've
stuff,
run
though,
out
isn't
of
it?
time.
Yeah, really interesting stuff.
Because the influx of contributions from the chat and the group and the team, it's been brilliant. So
How many's in the chat now, PJs? You know,
I think the
not
high
sure.
point got up to about 25.
PJ, if the car's on the drive, I'm in. Don't tell me that. You'll find out you've got no wheels in the morning. I'll be Tom. I'll tell you where I am. I'm up Stanhope Road, just around the corner from the leisure centre. We'll give Brian a moment. So yeah, for those that don't know, what we're trying to do between our community is find out the skills that we've got, and I'm not going to blow Luke's head up any bigger than it needs to be, but fantastic painter. He's got the automotive skills. I think is the benefit behind his models. Can't knock it. Please go and watch Scaled Customs. He's had some bad luck, bless him, with his channel just lately, through no fault of his own, and YouTube being.
It's not YouTube, it's Google.
Google.
Yeah, with the monetization.
Same difference. They're all a bunch of.
Yeah, they're all in. It's sleeping in each other's beds, aren't they?
He's lost a lot of. He had a fantastic channel where he's over 1,000 subscribers. Lost it all. Started from scratch. Third time is this now?
Third time this one.
Third time, yeah. And we love the work that he does. And he is as generous to a T. So please. I don't need subscribers. I don't do this hobby for subscribers. But there are guys that I would like to see boosted. Brian's one of them. Mos doesn't need me to give him subscribers. He's got 24,000 subscribers already. So he's doing all right for himself. But I'd like to see Luke boosted as much as possible. Please.
If there's any of Moz's subscribers on here, if you go onto my channel, there's a blue El Camino that I've just done on there. I've just used the Outlaw paints to do that. So don't pop over and have a look.
Yeah, I know that. I can't. But my biggest boast, I think, my biggest pride, which sounds a bit, whatever, is that we've got the community talking to each other. We've pulled people in, and people are interacting with each other, which I've not seen anybody else do, any other Facebook group or YouTube group do like what we what we do, like proper South Derbyshire. And even the likes of Brian, who's recently joined us, it didn't take him a couple of weeks before he felt part of the family.
Absolutely.
And he's found his niche of something to do, which is boxes. But we don't want to bog him down with doing boxes. The idea is Brian's found a way of doing a process, the procedure, and what we're all about is sharing it out and sharing the responsibilities as well. So,
when we having a restoration video, Brian?
As soon as this weather changes, because I think I explained the trouble.
Say, yeah, sorry,
outside.
Rain outside.
Yeah. So
I've
been let down. Well, I had someone come in to look at putting a new base out for a new shed.
Yeah.
But it's always the way, isn't it? You do favours for people, and then when it's reciprocal, it's not quite so forthcoming. So yeah, bit of a problem with that at the moment, but I will get there. I've done the one, despite the fact that I didn't film it properly. But yeah, I will be doing more. Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
I haven't checked the draw tonight, but if I win, after the motorhome, obviously, the DMC motorhome, we'll
Are we still live? Are we still live on YouTube?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
This is Davina, Channel 4. We are still live. Please do not swear. Mos Models. You've been voted out of the home. So
the only reason coming on Mos was obviously that vinyl guy that you company last night in the tavern, there was a few guys talking about getting some stickers done.
Yeah.
And wanted some decent quality ones, and I said probably vinyl was the way forward. But obviously, with my printer, I can't do vinyl. Well, I don't think I can.
No. The model stickers are high quality because I wanted good, and also they got that really good matte finish because I gave them to other scale modelers. They tend to put them on their bench, so when the light reflects, I see other people's stickers. It just reflects it, so you can't see what's on there. Yeah. But mine, because they're very well matted, they show up quite well on people's camera.
Brilliant.
So it was I use a company called Diginate, I think it's called. But when it comes to putting stickers on the inside of your windscreen, I wouldn't use that sort of print. It will probably be like a vinyl slab, vinyl sheet, because it wouldn't have any stickiness on it because it naturally will stick in form to
be like an old tax disc holder, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it'll be. I think they do them, but you can have a look. I'll send you the website details later. But they're not cheap, but like I said, the quality of them, whenever I'm giving out one of my stickers, they're like, well, these are good, and the same with the Outlaw paint ones are exactly the same company.
Fantastic.
I think you got some, haven't you, Luke? Yeah,
I have. Yeah, I've got them up, mate. They're brilliant.
They're good stickers.
Yeah,
you pay for what you get, and that's what
We don't. I mean, I'm not adverse to. Thanks to the generosity of our subscribers, we've got a little pot that we can dig into and get 50 to 100 DMC badges or stickers printed off and send them out just to.
I'm trying to find out if I've got my account. Have a look at my account, but how much I spent.
I mean, what we could do, Mos, is we could send you a design and see if you can get us a price for it, and we'll have a chat out offline what it would cost us.
So basically, the vinyl stickers shape rounded square with the textured matte finish, 90 by 90, and 100 cost £52, and you had the VAT and the shipping. 100 cost £67.66, but that was September of last year, so the price may have gone up since then. But yeah, they're about 70 pence a sticker, basically. By the time they're done. So
I don't think that's too bad. Really.
You can get cheaper, like 10p and 20p ones, but I just wanted something to be a bit more robust.
I don't want it to. The thing is, it's like anything. If you promote a product and that product fails within a couple of weeks because it's been in the sun or whatever, like that gives the channel and the group a bad name. So we're looking for a decent quality.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about what obviously was being spoken about in the tavern, but the thing is, if there's 15 or 20 people within the DMC that have got a YouTube channel, it would be almost like a stamp of authenticity if they had a DMC sticker in somewhere in their video. That you're getting someone from that community that's supportive, that does what they say they're going to do, and can be trusted. So Martin, me, whoever's got a video channel, just put the sticker somewhere visible, and then it's like you wouldn't send the stickers out to someone you wouldn't trust. So it's just the way.
Yeah, you're going to say, I know Lee put them on the back of his Land Rover, didn't he? And they're still there now. Yeah. So they are good. I'm just seeing whether they do like a sticker for. There you go. I'm in now. Get started. What sort of
I've also.
Oh yeah, they do. They do window and cling stickers.
Oh, cool.
So maybe they do a gloss window, a clear window, a gloss self cling, and a clear self cling. So, so they do them actually. Maybe I'll get some done and see what they're like. Self cling is what you want, isn't it?
I'm going to go to go to site. So to Boldly Go Model Works.
Yeah,
I have subscribed, and I'll take it's James.
Yeah, James is a good lad. He's on my channel every week. He's one of my moderators. He's a good lad.
I'm going to give his YouTube, his Facebook channel a like. So there you go, James. Thank you, mate, for subscribing to all of our channels, as you said. Much appreciated.
What's his name, PJ? I'll head over there when I get off.
Just subscribe to all your channels. I will get shouted out by the wife for watching videos until 2 o'clock in the morning. Face red
Jim
dream.
Brooke, yes. Jim Brooke. He's a good man, Jim Brooke.
I'll take a look later, Luke. Loving the. So Darren said, "I'll take a look later, Luke. I'm loving the outlaw paints." All right, let's just wrap this up then. Do you want to give a bit of adverts or a bit of a marketing campaign on the outlaw paints? Do you want to tell us about outlaw paints?
So, Outlaw Paints is an Australian designed and made lacquer paint, and they use premium lacquer thinners and premium liquid pigment in their range. They use a computer and all sorts of gadgetry to make sure that they mix their paints correctly. There's a lot of information out there about the state of outlaw paints in the future. The one way that we're going to continue the legacy of outlaw paints is probably make it in this country. We're looking into it quite quickly now, and so hopefully, even though it'll be Australian what's the word, designed, I guess, and blended, we can make the paints in this country. So we're looking into that in the future. I think it's one of the best paints I've ever used. I'm going to put it on par with MRP paints, though we're a lot thicker, and you'll probably get more to the bottle than you would have an MRP paint. But I'm not dissing MRP on that respect, because I use MRP paints in the past, the same as I use Tamiya lacquer paints. The trouble is with Tamiya lacquer paints and that the military side of it is quite bare, where we try to mix paints that will accommodate most of the American, Australian, UK, and other countries' military ranges. Popular paints are NATO, etc., the black, the green, and the brown, which you could use on mostly any kit these days. And we do a lifeboat range for those who want to build their lifeboats. It is on the tad expensive side. And that's because we're having to import it and pay the duty and the taxes and the delivery of these goods from Australia. But the plan is, if we make it in this country using the same specs, using the same techniques and the same pigments and thinner, we should be able to knock about £2 a bottle off the paint.
It's a shame that you can't buy out the copyright.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. We got a website, outlawpaints.co.uk. Hit me up if you need any advice on using it. But I've given it to people who've never sprayed before, or they've sprayed before using other paints, and then they've used ours and they've not gone back because they know how they have to mix it. It's already pre-mixed in a bottle. Normally it will come like this in a bottle. You can see the pigment at the bottom and the thinners. Just give it a hell of a shake. We always say upside down, tap the lid a couple of times on the table to give it a bit of a shake, and then that's mixed, ready to go in your airbrush.
No additive.
Pre-mixed. If you do use a lot you got quite a bit in your cup, you can pour it back into your bottle, ready for next time. And it dries within about 20 minutes. I think 30 minutes has been my minimum time before I've sprayed, masked up, ready to spray again, and pull the masking off, and the paint hasn't left the plastic. So it's,
as I've mentioned, that Mos and Luke are doing some testing between them. Let's put it that way. Testing between them. There's so much that all of us, whether it be printing, whether it be 3D printing, whether it be decals, whether it be paints, making boxes, you name it, our community is pretty much learning to do it all. We're in our, I wouldn't say we're in our infancy. I think we may have moved up to junior school. We aren't quite at senior school yet, but we're getting there. And there's some fantastic stuff that's been supplied by our community and its members. Decals, especially, and boxes that Brian's getting on top of. Luke has done some exceptional painting, teaching us all a thing or two. I'm not blowing smoke up his ass. He knows what we think about it because it's not just me. We've had input from Mos on Airfix, tools, all that kind of stuff. So it's a great community to come and join. Please come and join us. We run monthly challenges every month, so you can take part in those. It's not all about diecast. We do any kind of models challenges. It's a charity event every September. Paint it blue, so you can take a plastic kit, paint it blue, and we put money towards the Alzheimer's Society in September.
I think the crossover between diecast and diecast restoration and plastic modelling isn't as big a gap as you think it is.
I didn't think
very similar.
No.
Do both.
I think that the thing about it is that we build the models, then paint them, where the diecast lot just basically paint them.
Hobby Farm just posted Mos on posted stuff.
Brilliant, thank you.
I'm not allowed near schools. JMO taking the mic. John saying, "Fantastic night, lads."
Yeah,
that means as much as 10,000 subscribers is when we get the feedback that says we love the channel, we love the group, we love the community. I know that people wouldn't be here if they didn't like it, so I know that Mos wouldn't. I know that I've always said that my gauge is Martin Dare. If Martin doesn't like it, he would leave, and then I'd know that something was seriously wrong. So that Martin's my gauge.
he's already gone, by the way. He left about.
He's gone. You know, I can't blow smoke. Well, that just goes to prove I'm not blowing smoke up his ass either. You know what I mean? But the boys know what I mean. We love Mark. He's one of the OGs. So, without further ado, I think we've run this. I can't believe this has gone for 3 hours. We usually do 2. So, Mos,
I'll come back again sometime.
It won't be long at this rate, because if we can keep it going this long, you know what I mean.
I'm only as good as the people who ask the questions.
Yeah. Well, we've only done about 5 out of 20, so you know. So thanks to Mos, thanks to Luke, thanks to Brian, thanks to Laz and Martin, who've shot the bolt. We've had 2 or 3 late nights because of the tavern and things like that. We're here every 2 weeks, so we do the tavern every Friday, and we do the live chat on YouTube every 2 weeks on a Saturday. So please come and join us. Subscribe, like. You'll find out when we're doing something new.
And somebody's got some volume on. Somebody got volume on behind. I can't hear you, PJ.
Don't know what's going on.
So we've got a TV on or something.
TV on somewhere. Anyway, and we're going to cut it short. So thank you all. It's good night from me.
Good night from him.
And good night,
everyone.
And good night from Brian. And we'll see you soon.